There we go.
Aha. Welcome to the Tuesday show, everybody. My name is Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going? Can't see it. The light is, look at the reflection.
I think they'll figure it out. I was told by a very nice person as I went with this Vianality shirt to go pick up some dinner for the night at Trader Joe's. He was wondering if I had ever been there. And I said, yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, I used to live there. I was stationed in Italy. So anyway, that's how my afternoon went, as well as some better news as well. Just say that the stage of history has been set. But I haven't yet had a chance to burn my soul. That'll be later. Hey, what's going on over there?
I'm trying to frame it. It's so hard to do this. Oh, there we go.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about a few topics today. You can see them up here. One is that, is the FGC in a bubble, and is that bubble a bursting? We're going to talk about some results from tournaments that occurred. We're going to talk about a couple of topics on the 5-5 matchup, including rumors about Marvel vs. Capcom 4, and also the fact that I'm really enjoying Street Fighter V again, and I just kind of wanted to rattle on about it and see what you think.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
But before we do that, we're going to talk about the first topic, of course, the FGC bubble.
Yes, so obviously last week we talked about this a little bit, in which where it was announced that Punk, Theo, and Scar were let go from Echo Fox, and people were pretty surprised about that. I know we talked about how surprising it was that Punk was let go, you know, especially because he's just been, you know, getting back up to that top level again. But speaking of top level, then it was announced that JDCR and Saint were let go. And I mean, honestly, like, outside of me, who is leading in there, and, you know, I think John Ding is in second place right now, but regardless of that, JDCR and Saint are like the guys in Tekken right now. They have been for like the past 2 years.
A while.
And they were let go by Echo Fox as well. And, you know, I mean, we can talk a little bit about the Echo Fox stuff, but, you know, there's just a lot of signs right now that I feel like that the esports world might not be quite on board with the FGC, and that there's a lot of little other things happening that I feel like is not a good sign as well.
So Boken was also let go as manager from Echo Fox. So they are down to now Justin, Tokido, Momochi Choco,
Sonic Fox,
and Kill Sage.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's not a small team even still, but they had a gigantic team beforehand.
I mean, honestly, guys like Sonic Fox, Justin, I don't think they're going anywhere.
Tokido, Justin, Sonic Fox, they are always going to be sponsored.
Yeah, I don't think those three are going anywhere. Momochi is obviously really successful. Choco Blanca is doing a lot of great stuff in Japan, so they're good. I mean, those are the only Japanese players they still have. Oh no, Tokido, right. But, you know, having that global presence, I think, is really smart for them.
I'm with you on that.
To Kill Sage, obviously, he's doing really well in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and picked up relatively recently anyway.
That's true,
right?
Oh, that's right. M2K and Leo are on there as well. Mewtwo King and MK Leo are on there as well in terms of fighting.
Oh, of course.
Games.
Right.
That's
okay. Good point. So,
and they're probably not going to go anywhere with Smash Ultimate coming out soon.
Sure.
And that game is going to be huge.
I think that's what we expect. Yeah, that does make sense. But as you said, that's not the only... So dumping players by Echo Fox and also their manager, not the only thing that we're thinking about when we're talking about is the FGC kind of in a bubble and is that bursting.
Right.
There's other stuff too. So Suiken left UIU.
Yeah, we don't know the circumstances. Manager. We don't know the circumstances. That it didn't say like we parted ways. It more sounded like he kind of left on his own or something.
Yeah, hard to know exactly, but you know, a little bit of change anyway. The team GGEA apparently is disbanding. Just found out on Best of 5 right before this. I had no idea.
And some people in the chat are saying that Momo and Choka aren't even on the Echo Fox website right now.
All right.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Look, I mean, I wouldn't be at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they also were let go. It wouldn't be. I mean, just considering who they dropped, right?
Right.
Like I said, I think that Tokido, Justin, and Sonic Fox will just always have a sponsor if they want to play fighting games. Always.
Right.
But I wouldn't be super surprised to see the difference
crazy.
from Momochi and Choco.
But I mean, I guess Momochi and Choco are kind of like a team. You kind of have them signed together a lot of the time. But maybe Momochi just hasn't been having the kind of results. And it's interesting too, because I remember at Capcom Cup they were doing a documentary on Momochi, and they were interviewing me, and they were asking, they were saying like his results haven't been as strong. Do you feel like that could mean he could be dropped and stuff like that? And I mean, honestly,
like he's still qualified for Capcom Cup,
right? Yeah. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's still gonna be a strong player. He's still gonna be a strong player. Definitely worth keeping up with him. But again, like
I agree. But if you let Satan JDCR go, you're
exactly. And a lot of people are talking about Rick Fox in here. I'm sure he has very little to do with this, to be honest with you. I mean, this sounds more to me like a decision. I mean, you dropped JDCR and Saint right before the Tekken World Tour finals, the Tekken, and they're in there. They're obviously super strong. I feel like there's something else at play. I really honestly don't think that this is just like, oh, you know what, they're not winning, so I don't want to sign them. I don't want them on the team anymore. I think something else is at play here. I would suspect, from history of all sorts of other things that maybe, they're, whoever's investing in the company maybe is pulling out or something like that. That would be my guess on what's happening over here.
Well, as I said last week when we talked about this for a little bit, I had heard that there actually were a couple of venture capitalists who were pulling out of esports. I had heard about that. I didn't know if this was the result of that.
Right.
I don't know if there's a connection, but certainly there are rumors going around in sort of the esports undergrowth that there were people dropping out of it. So anyway, a couple teams disbanding, or one team disbanding, a bunch of players getting dropped. On top of that, some events have less money for things.
Right.
And we can tell you on our end that there is less money for commentary this year than there has been in previous years. And that's something that I also have heard from the European commentators, fighting game commentators.
Yeah. So. I mean, for example, last 2 years we had the Brooklyn Beatdown by ESL in September. And this year they had their event there, but there was no fighting game side tournament there anymore, right? ESL King of the Hill isn't around anymore.
Right.
So I mean, Red Bull Conquest feels like a decidedly kind of smaller thing.
It seems like that's what they've gone for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have commentators who are doing it.
Right.
It does seem smart.
So it just, I don't know. It seems like there's just a lot of, I mean, just full disclosure from this standpoint right now, like a lot of people are talking about, oh, as a commentary, this is the year, stick with it, this is the year and everything like that. I can probably honestly say this year I'm going to make less than I did last year with just the way that things are going, just because there are less events, and the events that actually paid decent esports-y salaries are the ones that are mostly dropping out at this point in time. So
right. No, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So the question first, I think before we get to sort of general esports, well, maybe let's talk about this. So in esports more broadly, because we've already linked it to that, there are rumors that the value of a League of Legends spot in the league is now worth substantially less than it was before.
Really? Okay.
Again, these are rumors from the same sources that I've heard about, like VCs backing out.
Right.
I've also heard that. Doesn't seem to be hurting it too much, because they're sort of expanding their franchising model to Europe, so they at least seem to feel reasonably confident about it. But there aren't as many people playing and watching League of Legends as there used to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously the battle royale genre is starting to take over now and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right. Overwatch values places in its league at something like $15 to $20 million. Is that something that's sustainable long term? I'm not sure about that either. So,
what the crazy thing is, what I hated about it was that even just 2 to 3 years ago, everyone was talking about esports is the big thing. It's going places, blah 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 blah. And what that ends up doing is that it makes everybody be like, oh, I want to get in on this, so let's spend all this money so we can be on top of everything. And it's because everything, I feel like, is run by venture capitalists, because everything is kind of run through that investment route, that's how we get this kind of overinflated situation. It's just like when the tech companies were getting big. Remember when tech companies were big and they would go public and their stocks would jump all the way really high up, and then they would all die completely like in a week, and then they would be gone, right? So I had a friend one time who had a choice between going to a startup company or an established company, and I was like, dude, just go to the established. Like,
really? Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
for long-term concerns.
Yeah, I was like, do not go to the startup because the way that and this was years later when it was already kind of starting to come down. So we had already learned that, right? Yeah. So tech companies was what esports is now, right? So, but instead of stocks, it's just all these people investing money because they thought that they would get the return. But every time something big happens like that, that's what everyone puts in the money, and then everyone gets disappointed. So it's not just that everyone's growing and building something. It's like we don't start here and invest money to do this. We start here, and then everyone's like, this is the biggest thing, and they put in all this money. And then it grows, and everyone's like, this is not making any money. And then everyone pulls out. So instead of growing, we kind of do this, and then we get hit by this, like, yanking away, you know? And I feel like that's kind of happening to the esports world right now.
Yeah, man, tulips are just flowers in the end, so it's... one of the first economic bubbles in world history was in the Netherlands, where they you don't know the story?
No, I don't.
Okay, where they happened to value tulip bulbs really highly, and they were trading tulip bulbs with each other to the point where it just got crazy. There were people were trading houses for tulip bulbs, and it was just totally wild. But it didn't seem like there was any way that they could go wrong, because through this period of time, if you invested in a tulip bulb, you could trade it for more money.
Right.
So you just keep doing it, right? And they didn't have any experience with it, so the bubble finally crashed, and obviously they all lost money.
It was actually really funny, just because the way that way that economy works. It was funny because there was an episode of DuckTales that I always remember that was always one of the most like it was surprisingly like wise and really relevant to economy and stuff like that. That like I still remember as a kid, I watched it, I was like, this is awfully like not like children's subject, but they like ran into some town where the town was very, like the city was very, low budget, like very third worldish, right? And then while they were leaving, someone popped open a soda and dropped a bottle cap in there. And so all of a sudden everybody was like, oh my God, this thing is the shiniest and coolest thing everywhere. So everyone wanted bottle caps, and they started getting bottle caps, and that started becoming their method of currency, and it was like throwing their country apart. So Scrooge McDuck was like, we'll solve this by making bottle caps irrelevant, and we'll just throw a shit ton of bottle caps into the city so that they'll stop caring about it.
Wow.
So they threw in a bunch of bottle caps in there, and then all of a sudden they like went to a restaurant, and it was like this burger was like 5,000 bottle caps. So instead of actually like, making it worthless, then it just like inflated. And I was like,
once you got money, you got money.
Yeah, I was like, dang, that's actually really kind of. It's like, this is a Disney afternoon cartoon. I was really surprised about that. So.
He's a grotesque billionaire capitalist who hoards money away from all the rest of society. So that's the nature of the show, I guess.
Man.
Anyways, I think that there's like a real bubble. For sure.
And it feels like we're hitting it right now.
Yeah, I do think that that's true. I think that the way that the sort of larger esports world is going is sort of in that, but I don't think that it's sort of in every case. So I think, and people have sort of been talking about this already, one of the reasons that sort of League is, I mean, it's doing all right, but it hasn't fallen off completely. One of the reasons it seems to not be doing quite as well is that Fortnite is just dominating ridiculously in a way that League of Legends was that game a few years ago, but not even with what Fortnite has currently. Like, it does not anything like the player base.
I mean, look what's going on with Ninja right now. I mean, I just saw that guy in a mainstream commercial, and then I heard he's going to be playing Fortnite with Ellen pretty soon. Correct. I mean,
didn't that happen already? I don't know.
Did it? I don't even know, but that feels like a bubble that's going to burst as well.
I'm not so sure. So I think that the problem that's inherent in esports is that it's not a sport that lasts a long time. No individual game is a sport that lasts forever. So we're still playing basketball, we're still playing hockey, we're still playing football. The leagues that run them, they vary the rule sets a little bit, like year to year. They change a little bit here and there, but they're basically the same game.
Right, but it's always changing it to help the audience enjoy it more, right?
But
it's not just for the sake of flavor.
Football's not going anywhere, right? Hockey's not. You can just play these games forever. that's not the case when it comes to video games, because video games are a product and they have product cycles, and their developers are going to stop supporting them. The consumers are going to move on. That's just what's happened in every case.
Right.
The very few games that have survived are, I don't know, half a dozen or fewer in a competitive sense.
Super Turbo, some people are still playing that.
Right.
Melee,
for example.
Hey, this weekend I'm going to be doing commentary for Classic Tetris World Championships, which is Tetris on the NES.
So some games have survived, but it's very, very few. And I think that it's unreasonable to expect a game like League of Legends to last forever. It's probably not going to happen.
Right.
So at some point, a game comes along that may have been another game in the past that League of Legends eclipsed. Now Fortnite has eclipsed that. It's going to be something else in the future.
Right.
Fortnite's not going to last forever either. There's going to be some new game. So if you're somebody who is pumping in money into esports, you're going to be disappointed unless you happen to find that game that has blown up immediately. You find it, or you find it even before it actually does blow up. So you're kind of speculating. But once a game has blown up, in the sense that like a League of Legends did, if you are a team now who wants to get a franchise spot in the EU, in Europe, you can't guarantee anything like the profits that may have been possible, or may have seemed possible in the past. So older games, I think, are just inherently bubbles. I just think esports is just a set of bubbles. And so Fortnite right now is doing great. It is expanding, but it's not going to be expanding forever. At some point, some other game comes out. So I think that's like an inherent issue in esports that we're just not going to be able to change, barring huge changes in how products get made.
Right, and that's always the tricky thing for League of Legends. I mean, I always felt like it was odd that Riot never seemed to want to make a new game. Like, even Blizzard is, like, making new games constantly, right?
Yeah.
But, like, Riot, for some reason, they're just, like, writing League of Legends like it's not going anywhere. But at some point in time, it does start to get old, potentially, and... they've done it before. They've updated the entire graphics engine, right, to try to make it look better and more relevant. And they could probably keep doing that as it goes. But, it's interesting because on the other side of everything, is the fighting game community. And although we have got caught in the bubble-ish sort of way, we still haven't got hit as badly as I feel like a lot of the other that other places can be hit, just because we're still growing on our own grassrootsy a little bit.
Right, and certainly historically there have been worse bubbles than are right now. Esports has been through that a couple of times. So when it comes to the FGC, I do think that there is a bubble in some sense, but the FGC can't contract all the way. So like if League of Legends totally dies, then it's just dead. But nothing else is gonna pop. It's not like a MOBA scene. It's League of Legends or Dota, or some people play other games. So whereas the fighting game scene is not going to contract like that. We're just so accustomed to having this base level of grassroots. I just don't think we can contract past that. So I think there's a level where we are still growing, but I like your idea of thinking about things like this. So the FGC grassroots is like an amount, and then there's this layer of money, the little atmosphere of money that's grown up around it, and that is maybe shrinking. Yeah, that part is maybe shrinking, and I think that we can see that with stuff like Echo Fox dropping people, there being less money to commentate, stuff like that. I think is becoming to be a little bit more.
And for the TOs, it's going to hurt as well. Their events are probably not going to be as successful. And really, right now, it's less that the FGC is going to disappear or go away. It's more that the hopes of making this a potential career for many people, not just the select few, but actually making this a career for a good number of people in the fighting game community, probably is not going to be a sustainable thing, right? So even for commentators, for TOs, for players and stuff, it's just going to be the Tokitos and Sonic Foxes and Justin Wongs who are going to be in that position, I feel like.
Well, I think it's a little bit more, in my view, it's a little bit more expensive than that. I don't think it's way more expensive than that. I think is my guess.
What expensive in
expansive.
What? Oh, expansive. Gotcha.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
That is to say, I think that there's going to be more than just the Tokitos and Sonic Foxes who are sponsored. I think there's always going to be more than that. But we may have reached something like peak sponsorship, and I don't know if there's going to be more. So the rest of the players who don't have long-term things are always going to be battling for like whatever the new sponsor is. I don't know that they'll have secure jobs.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't even necessarily. I mean, I don't think like we've reached peak sponsorship, because if the FGC just keeps doing what it's doing, it's just going to keep growing.
Sure.
Right? And
I'm with you on that.
It'll get bigger to that point. It's just that, it's going back to the original thought process that we had maybe even 5, 8 years ago, where I was like, it's going to take a couple of decades before we're there. Everything just kind of jumped ahead really fast, and we all got kind of, like, oh my God, this is crazy and stuff like that. But it might be jumping back to that slow and steady race again. Again, an event like EVO is not going anywhere, because EVO is not a venture capitalist thing. You know what I mean? It's not like there's these investors putting money into EVO going, you're going to make us money back.
Sure.
It's literally just those guys are, I mean, it's still a grassroots event as much as it is not a grassroots event. You know what I mean? But I still call EVO one of the biggest grassroots events, because it's just run by guys who just have the ability to.
It certainly has that history.
Yeah, so.
But I'm also a little bit concerned about some of the things going on in esports. It's always been the sort of seedy underside of esports forever. Tournaments have had it since as long as I've been involved in the scene, probably longer, right? Since I got involved, I've been hearing about people who are hucksters and promising too much.
I'll tell you right away, it's actually one of the reasons why I really. That every time we have events, I'm not a fan of going to the after parties, the Twitch after parties and stuff like that. It's one of the reasons why I don't like them, because they feel like you're celebrating too early. You know what I mean? Like we're not there yet. This is too much money to be spending on this kind of stuff, and we're not there yet. Like we're acting like we're already king of the world. And not only that, but I just feel like that's not what video game players are interested in anyway. So I don't know.
The parties at the end?
Yeah, the parties and stuff like that. It's always seemed kind of weird to me. I don't know. I've never been a fan of esports after parties. I've always hated them.
There's a weird feel to them. They feel more like frat events to
me. So feels like I'm in college now. I get to do this.
Even older people.
Well, as a frat event, like in the comparison. So when you get into college, you're like, oh, look, I can do this frat
party.
Yeah,
you're a little kid, whatever, being a jerk. I mean, I like the hang out and just be with your friends aspect of after parties, but I definitely see what you're talking about in terms of.
I mean, I would like it too if you can actually talk to them.
I
just hate the noise level and stuff.
They're very loud. They're just like the stereotypical after parties.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I want to avoid is as we continue to grow, is to continue to avoid the bad side of esports funding, if we can possibly do that. So one thing that I've been thinking about lately is Saudi Arabia. Oh. There's been a lot of.
I've seen people talk about that, and I don't know the whole story, so please educate me on this whole thing.
All right. The most recent thing is that they seem to have probably murdered a journalist in a Turkish embassy. Okay,
I did hear about that one.
So that probably happened, although whatever, they're denying it. But that's they've had human rights abuses forever.
Right.
They have a gross war going on at the same time. It's basically forever. So last year, EVO representatives met with Saudi Arabian prince at EVO Japan. They had tweeted about it. So I want to avoid working with them, just in general. So this is that is to say, I think that there may be a bubble. I think a lot of people want to get involved in esports. I think some of them are going to be people who I don't want to work with. And this is definitely an example of that.
Right. And I heard a lot of this also from the standpoint of WWE.
Yes.
Apparently they made deals with Saudi Arabia to do a bunch of stuff, and I saw a lot of people talking about that and being angry about it for similar reasons.
I've heard the same thing, yeah. I don't follow that very closely, but I've heard the same thing.
That
is not, the prince who met with the folks at EVO is not the current crown prince who seems to be basically in control there. It was another member of the royal family, but it's a huge royal family, so I'm not sure what exactly the relationship was there. But in any case, somebody, and there's going to be a Japan-Saudi Arabia esports match that they announced.
Oh, really?
That's going to be in January. There's going to be a series where there's games that happen in Saudi, there's going to be games that happen in Japan.
Is this for FGC? Or
That's
is this
not, as far as I know, not announced.
Okay.
I don't know. But I suspect, considering that it's Japan, that there's going to be fighting games involved.
Right.
Because that's one of the biggest competitive video games there. sort of genres of
I mean,
video
they're
games.
trying to turn Street Fighter into a national sport over there, right? So they already announced that. So
in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan. Yeah.
So I really don't want that to happen with Saudi Arabia. I got to be honest, folks. That's like something so clearly to avoid. And I really hope that EVO does avoid that.
Right.
I feel like if EVO were to jump into that, then whatever the grassroots claims were to be would basically be cast out in favor of big money.
Right.
So really hope that does not occur. But I certainly feel that there's a bubble, and that along with the bubble comes some bad actors. And, that's, I think, one of the bad actors to be...
Bad actors?
Yeah.
Is that a term or?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't heard. Okay.
That's pretty common in international speak.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking that means
they're
you're
not
just
actually acting.
I thought that meant you're like, Charlie Nash in The Legend of Chun-Li, Chris
man.
Klein.
Okay,
Charlie Nash!
Yeah, I never saw that movie.
Interpol! Oh, God. You need to see that movie.
I didn't watch it on purpose because I thought it would suck.
Dude, and that's why, you don't even know the level of Charlie Nash suckitude, dude. I mean, you don't even know. There's like highlight clips on YouTube that you need. Oh, my God. It's so good.
Look, as the FGC grows, there's really no way to avoid politics, I feel. There's going to be more situations where somebody has a political stance or is just a political body, like the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is. Or Japan has an official body now. As fighting games grow and as esports grow, there's just no way to avoid that stuff.
Right? Yeah, that's going to happen because the hard part about it is, what's going to be interesting in Japan, and this is a whole different side of things, right? Reading Daigo's book, he said the time that he quit fighting games, he really got into Mahjong. And he said he probably could have gotten to the point where he would have been one of the best players in Mahjong in the country. But he didn't want to join it because Mahjong is run completely by the Yakuza in Japan. And he just didn't feel like he wanted to, represent that and how would that look to kids and da-da-da-da. That's not kind of how I feel like I want to do that, right? But as the fighting game community gets bigger in Japan, you don't think that that's going to come up? You don't think that the Yakuza is going to start trying to, come up to Takedo and be like, you're going to throw this match, kind of thing? Honestly, these things are unavoidable. As soon as money gets involved, it becomes unavoidable.
Well, it happened in Korea on multiple occasions.
Right, exactly.
Famous match throwing in there, so StarCraft.
Yeah, so Takedo with Demon there.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that's true. Maybe Tokido actually does run the Yakuza. Who knows?
All right.
But
anyway, yeah, I do think that there's a bit of a bubble, and I think it hasn't burst.
Yeah.
Maybe deflating a little bit.
Yeah. So here's the question, though: do you feel like there's still a path for the FGC to not grow at a slow pace? Do you feel like that there is a way to still get this into another level? Because, sorry to ask you and then answer myself, but right now I feel like with the ArcSys World Tour, with the Capcom World Tour, Dragon Ball, Tekken World Tour, these things are all good signs right now, and I think that they're very good to have happen, I feel like Capcom establishing the Pro Tour kind of thing was a really, really strong move for the FGC because it's still mostly funded by themselves, right? I think that they probably had some Sony money before or something like that before, but I'm sure even Sony wasn't venture capitalist, here's a few $1 million kind of
Seems
thing,
unlikely.
right? So, I feel like we're still we're at a point where we can grow and we're growing well, but just probably not fast enough for this current generation to necessarily reap the benefits of it.
I think I agree with that. I think that, maybe player salaries won't be $150,000 in the future. Maybe they'll shrink back down, which is about the max that some players get in the FGC. That's rare. But that is about what the max is. So maybe that's not going to happen anymore. Maybe they'll shrink down a little bit. Maybe fewer commentators will be able to do it full time. Maybe fewer streamers will be able to do it full time. But I do think that there's a sense in which it's just going to keep growing.
Yeah.
I just don't see it falling apart. There's too much that's been built up in the grassroots, too much that's undergirding all of this. That's just not going to go away. We just like to watch and play fighting games. Just a lot of people do. And there's a lot of infrastructure that's been built up for where you can actually physically do that in a way that doesn't exist for many other game genres. Even games like League that have way more players no longer really have that sort of undergirding of here's how we run a grassroots tournament. Right. That stuff did used to exist, but it's basically gone now. So if the structure of their leagues were to just go away, there's really nothing left. It would be on the players to build it up again, and that takes a long time.
I mean, it's interesting because this is why even over 5 years ago, I was so anti-MLG at the time, because this is exactly the scenario that I would be scared of, is that MLG would be like, hey, let's pick up the fighting game community, let's pump all this money into it, and we would get all this money and do all the stuff, and then basically they're like, you know what, fighting games aren't doing much, we're going to, drop all the fighting game stuff, and then all of a sudden we're left with nothing, and you kind of jump ahead and you got to drop back, whereas right now, I like the fact that we've gotten to this point by still building up where we are. And even with all the sponsors, really, of picking up all these players and everything like that, I don't feel like we've gotten to that point where it feels like someone has injected a ton of money to the point where now if they pull out, then the fighting game community is going to collapse. I feel like we can still survive here.
I agree with that.
But like I said, I feel like we're slowly returning back to the point of the slow growth that we were experiencing even just 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So.
I think you're right about the developers. I think the developers themselves will probably keep giving money. So I don't think that it's going to be back to where it was was it 2012 that the 25th anniversary Capcom thing happened?
Yeah.
It was really the first time there was big money. Probably not going to go back to how it was before that.
Right.
But I don't expect it to keep this very significant upward. I don't think that it's going to keep on quite the trajectory that it was. Right. I think it's probably going to go back to something like the growth curve that we were looking at before. But I think that's totally fine. I think that's totally fine. Have the Pro Tours been eroding the grassroots for the more corporate dependent side? Well, my view on that is no. What they tend to give is pop bonuses. There's rarely much more support than that, to be honest. They rarely give money to the events. It's basically the same for the events side, and for most of the attendees are not getting those pop bonuses. So the top level players are definitely getting more money, but is that eroding the grassroots side? I don't think it is. I think the grassroots side is definitely still there.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I don't feel like the world tours. Yeah, they're definitely not any sort of crazy tournament. Here's all this cash to run all this stuff. No, it's not what's happening. It's not what's happening at all. So yeah. Wow. So is that really true? Is that true that Owl kind of killed all the grassroots stuff
for Overwatch? Overwatch was so young that I don't think it'd be fair to say that they had a strong grassroots.
Right.
They definitely did have some tournaments going on. There's some series going on. There were places where you could talk about Overwatch before Blizzard got involved. But I wouldn't really say that there was a strong grassroots scene because it had a year and a half before Overwatch League was announced.
Yeah, I mean, someone's saying that that they, of course, all the leagues have it so that people stream the events on their. So for example, at CEO, Dragon Ball is going to be on the Dragon Ball Fighters channel, Tekken's going to be on the Tekken channel, Street Fighter's on the Capcom Fighters channel, et cetera, et cetera. The way that they benefit the events is that they increase the number of entrants, and thus you get a lot more money from the venue fees and just all the side money and stuff like that, right? So the more people that are there, the more you can start charging for booth space. The more people there, the more you can charge for your own, So that's kind of the give and take methodology of that whole thing. Is we get the stream number revenue, but we help you get the players there, and we the prestige to your event, so that helps your event a little bit. How much that actually helps the events, I don't really know because I'm not, part of the TO side of things.
Yeah.
But that's the general idea of how it's supposed to work. So.
Yeah, I don't think that FGC is going to go anywhere. I just think that it's probably the case that we won't grow as quickly as we have seemed to over the past couple of years. But again, that's fine. We've been saying it the whole time that we're fine with slow, dependable growth.
Right.
This is something that James and I have been involved with for me, 18 years, and you 25?
Something like that, yeah. So, I've been playing fighting games forever.
Yeah, since they started. So for us, taking the long haul is okay. We're going to be here.
Yeah, I remember.
Not going anywhere.
I was just talking to somebody recently in Canada, and we were talking about stuff, and they were asking how I became a commentator, and I was like, well, I've been playing all these games all the time. I was always an analyzer, even like back in '91 or '92 when Street Fighter 2 came out. I was analyzing and all this stuff, and they were like, I wasn't. That was before I was born. And I was like, dang it, dang it. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. But again, it's tough, obviously for someone like me. Like, I'm thinking if I could try to make this a career. Yeah. Honestly, I don't even know if I can at this point in time. The only way
my thoughts.
Yeah, I know. The only way I can make this honestly a career is if I just really, like, for example, I've talked to you about this. I don't know, I don't think we've mentioned this on stream before, but the studio space that we're in right now, this room, I'm considering renting out again.
Yeah, this is in James's place.
Yeah, this is in my basement, basically, which is an extra room. This is where Justin Wong used to live at one point in time. I've been thinking about renting this out again for extra income. Yeah. Maybe I could do that. I have to move this back upstairs, so we might have to do sofa streams again and stuff like that. But it's actually, you know what the funniest thing is, Rift Tripper? My best friend in kindergarten was named Jesus. Honestly, like I grew up with one of my best friends named Jesus, so I actually did meet him back in my day.
Yeah, we all knew people named Jesus for sure.
But yeah, so like those kind of things like that. So
anyway,
we'll
yeah,
see.
I don't think it's. I mean, that's been my position. I haven't thought that this is something to quit your day job over.
I mean, I didn't quit. I
understand. Yeah, but there are still almost nobody making their sole career in commentary. There are like 4 or 5 people.
Right. Yeah.
And 2 of the people who do it full time actually just work for ESL, and they do other things than just commentate all the time. So I feel like that's like not plausible. They also they're in a very different like life situation. It's just like they don't own a home, they don't have a family. Like it's just not. It's a different story. So
yeah. It's kind of surprised. I mean, look, the thing is, when Yipes joined the Bitcoin thing, I think that's a great idea, to be honest with you. Like, I'm probably going to talk to Lapchi, maybe see if I can...
Esports ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
I'm not convinced.
Well, I mean, you're there to promote it and stuff. And
I hear you. I mean, he's a friend of mine. I hope it works out. I just, we'll see.
Yeah, yes, I was liberated from the shackles of employment, exactly, so... I mean, at this point in time, maybe I should just go back to programming or whatever like that, because, you talked about, like, I mean, honestly, again, like, full disclosure, like, when I was working at the computer job, like, I was making close to what a lot of those, you said the top players are making right now. That's how much you make in the computer industry and stuff like that.
You had risen up. You'd been doing it for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But we'll see.
It is also true that some of the people who do commentary full-time, or at least mostly full-time, some still have part-time jobs, that they don't only do fighting games.
Right.
Right. So some people do. There's what was it called? The mobile MOBA that Tencent made.
Oh yeah.
That I've actually been playing.
That's the one that
Something of Valor.
Yeah, that's the one that Rip is doing.
Rip did it.
Yeah.
And then there's
Vainglory.
No, it's not Vainglory. Arena of Valor.
Arena of Valor. Okay.
I've actually played it. There's also Majin Obama doing Shadowverse.
That's right.
So there's like a little bit more. And if you're going to make it your job, then I do feel like you got to go to whatever the hot stuff is. That's what people do in other esports. Almost nobody in esports only does, as in one commentators, only do one game.
Or even one genre.
Or even a genre. Unless you're like literally employed by Riot to only do League, which is the case for some of the commentators. You're going on whatever the hot stuff is.
Dude, I'm doing Tetris this weekend, you know. This is where all the big esports bucks are in Tetris.
That'd be sick.
Oh, man.
Rip did PUBG too? I didn't even know that.
I mean, to be fair with you, though, I feel like Tetris has a lot of potential just because everybody's played the damn game. Everybody knows
it's a great game.
I don't think it's going to get to, like, Fortnite or anything like that. No one's going to get that level, but, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so, like, maybe if you're Artosis and Tasteless, you only get to... No, that's not even true. They haven't only done StarCraft. They've also done other stuff.
Yeah, they
definitely.
Have.
Now that I think about it.
No, 100% I've seen them do other things.
Yeah, they definitely
before.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tetris Battle Royale.
So unless you're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. If you want to only do fighting games, I feel like it's not practical.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do next at this point. So, unless I can figure out some sort of crazy side thing, and figure something out, but we'll see. Yeah, they did Tekken commentary at one point in time. So
Ketchup and Mustard do Quake. There's something else. There's another big game that they've done.
And honestly, that's why the Tetris Classic World Championships are actually so cool to watch, is because it is classic NES Tetris. It's just about being good, and it literally is getting to the point where, it's a game that gets to a point where literally there's a cap, right? So once it gets to a certain level, just people can't survive anymore.
Okay.
It's too hard to survive, and so to top out at max score of 999,999 requires you to get a certain number of Tetrises and a certain amount of time. Like, it's very contained, right? And in fact, there's just a brand new kid who's like bursting into the NES Tetris scene, who apparently has made it to level 33 now, or 23, or something crazy like that. And he's like actually gotten further than anybody else. He also maxed out playing the game one-handed, which is like unheard of.
That seems crazy.
So he's going to be playing it this weekend. So, he may be a person who may upset the...
Do you have to play it on the real controller?
You do have to play on the real controller, yeah. But, because, honestly, if you had a hitbox controller, oh my god, that'd be, so good for that game. Because you would just be like, double tap things, things like that. So, but, yeah. Anyways, that's why the classic Tetris is so, because new Tetris is, personally, I don't like the way Tetris is gone. I played against, people in Canada, right? I went there and played I played against Drew Face. And, we played one game and I played straight up Tetris once, but then I was like, all right, let me try doing this stupid 4-wide crap. And, it's just like, I was even telling my brother, I was like, you can't even recognize the game anymore.
Right,
It doesn't even look like I'm playing Tetris. Like, what is even happening here?
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Well...
Yeah, Corian is the interesting one. He was one of the best in Tetris the Grandmaster, but he's caught up now in Tetris, NES Tetris. He actually sat down and learned NES Tetris, and he even beat Jonas in an exhibition in China, I believe it was. And that's pretty crazy, so...
This is an old conversation.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's true.
Look, I've never played Triforce. The one time I tried playing Triforce, he was just like, there's no point because I know all the triple T-spin setups and all that stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's kind of stupid, right? And so, but when I played Marn straight up, and after I crushed Marn, he was like, I think you would crush Triforce, is what he told me. So that's what he told me, so.
There's no way he's good at video games, right?
Triforce. So, you know what the worst thing about it is? He got into the Guinness Book by getting 9999999, like 9 million whatever, on Tetris on the DS.
Okay.
And he just thought, oh my god, it was so hard, blah, blah, blah. It's not hard. It's not hard at all, because the Tetris DS one-player mode, you could rotate pieces forever and they don't lock. So if you don't know where to put a piece, as long as you can slide it back and forth and keep rotating, it never locks. And then you can just kind of dilly-dally, and it doesn't get to a speed where it's unplayable. Like, I played to the point where I got to 999 lines, which was less than the 9 million whatever points, and I was just like, I'm done with this shit. I can't do this anymore because this is...
Was it boring, or is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's hours. It's hours and hours and
hours. It's just
a
length.
Yeah,
it's just a marathon.
Like, in order to get to 9,999,000, whatever like that, that's like 15 hours of doing the same thing in Tetris so I just didn't even bother. I got to 999 and I proved that I could lines, and I just stopped at that point. But I could have gotten to 9 million if I wanted to. It's not it's not hard. That's the thing. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well. Anyways. All right. Enough about esports and the likely bubble that it's in. But again, more accurately, IMO. Is that it's not that there's a one bubble in esports. It's that each individual game represents a bubble, and that each game has a lifespan. At some point, it's going to pop.
Yeah.
But hey, each new game that comes out that really picks up steam seems to be picking up steam way more than the previous one did. Yeah. Fortnite is absurd in terms of levels of people playing it. Right. So hey, as long as that continues, then maybe we'll be all right.
Yeah. Look, the bubble is like this, but it keeps taking hits. So it keeps shrinking, and we have to make sure that we let go of the bubble to let it recharge, and then when you hit it again, it'll be full size again. and you can kind of aim it a little bit with the analog stick and avoid. Anyways,
Wasn't it Bubble Ball?
no, it was a Smash Brothers thing. You know, the shield, the bubble, the blocking.
Oh, okay, all right.
Anyway,
Anybody an egg?
Oh, that's Yoshi. That's only
I know.
Yoshi. But yeah.
I was trying to continue the joke. Anyway, all right. I guess that's it for this subject.
Okay.
Want to take a little break there?
Sure, no problem. When we come back, let's talk about SEAM and a bunch of other results. Obviously, SEAM was the big one this weekend, so we'll be right back to talk about that. I did that beforehand.
Oh no, I'm doing pew too.
You know, it's funny. I mean, if they would have me, I would 100% love to do some Smash Ultimate commentary.
You probably got to get on that now.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean
I don't mean in Smash. I mean in Smash 4.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm,
It's probably like a.
Yeah, I mean that's why I don't think it's something that I'm gonna actively try to do. So less like Tekken. Like Tekken is something that I actively want to commentate because I'm enjoying that game so much. Jesus.
Oh, is it actually hard?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, appreciate it.
Because let me grab a walnut for my reward here.
For sure. Thank you.
But like Tekken is something that I actively want to commentate just because I'm enjoying it so much, and I feel like I really want to commentate that game. Mm-hmm. Are you opening that right now?
Opening what?
I think my favorite joke that I saw was someone said like, "I got the new Spider-Man game," and they opened it, inside was dust.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because it was an Avengers reference, so
Ah, I understand. I was just mad on their behalf. But okay.
No. It was a joke. It was a meme. So yeah, after he opened it and saw it, he was like, "Ah, man, I don't feel so good."
Okay, all right, now I get it.
Hey, you still have Zoidberg once again back with the 1,000 bits donation.
That's a lot of bits.
That is a lot of bits. Thank you, Zoidberg.
Nice work. Am I opening this here?
Mr. Armory has. I mean, they can hear that. Trust me, they can hear that. It's ASMR. Seriously, it's like that crinkling right now. They can definitely hear that. Hang on, let me see this real quick.
Smell that.
I was just about to do that.
It smells good, right?
I love the smell of new... But you know what I miss? I miss the smell of new instruction booklets.
Oh.
Because games don't come with instruction booklets anymore.
Dang, you're right.
It's really sad.
It smells good. It smells like an excellent video game.
Trust me, it has nothing to do with what David is eating that he's smelling right now. There we go.
What do we get?
1 bit for RIP JDCR too soon.
I'll woo for that. Woo.
And
thanks for the subscription.
Hideo Kojimer with the subscription. Thank you.
Kojimer, all right.
Hideo Kojimer. I always thought that before, because it was funny, because before like the developers were famous, when you played Metal Gear Solid 1, it wasn't like Hideo Kojima's name was like on the tip of everybody's tongue. So when your TV screwed up during the Psycho Mantis fight and it said Hideo instead of video on the screen, I never understood that. I didn't get that. Because Psycho Mantis screws with your TV while you play. You know how a lot of them, you hit the button, it goes from cable to TV? Oh, really? Yeah. Oh. So he blacks out the screen.
Oh, wow.
And it's in green letters where it always says video on like all the TVs. It says Hideo instead.
That's clever.
And so it says Hideo. And when I used to play that game, I never got what that meant. So, and shout out to Time Pants for the sub right there.
Hey-o.
But man, that was still one of the greatest video game fights ever because me and my brother Jeff had played a ton of Symphonies of the Night beforehand or whatever like that, right? And we were sitting there fighting Psycho Mantis and he's like, "I can read your mind." He's like, "I will do so right now." And he looks at you, he goes, "You like Castlevania?" And we were like, "Oh, that's funny." They just probably say that to everybody, right? Yeah. We talked to one of our friends. He's like, "He didn't say that to me." We were like, "What the hell? How did they? What? How did they know that?" And it's because they read the save data on the PlayStation.
Oh, interesting.
Because he could also say, "You like Nagano Winter Olympics?" If you had that game on there, dude, it was like the
That's pretty cool.
And he was like, "Put your controller down on a flat surface." And you put your controller down. I was like, "I will move it with my mind." And he goes, and the controller vibrates.
Wow.
Dude, the Psycho Mantis fight was the greatest thing ever.
That's actually pretty sick.
Yeah, and he could read all of your inputs. You could never shoot him. And one of the ways to beat him, there's several ways to beat him, but one of the ways is that you unplug the controller and plug it into the controller 2 port because he was reading port number 1. And so when you put it in port 2, he couldn't read your inputs anymore.
Okay, that's awesome.
Dude, Metal Gear Solid was ridiculous. That game was ridiculous, dude. Psycho Mantis was such a great fight.
All right. I'm not going to root for that, but thanks anyway.
What's that?
You want to come back to the thing
here?
Oh,
yeah, sure, okay. If Mr. Henry sees me in Portland, will I give him an autograph? Absolutely, dude. He's been in my streams forever. He's been a long-time supporter.
Let's move on.
All right.
All right, welcome back to the show. It's the Tuesday show. We've talked a little bit about this one. Now we're going to move on to the next one, which, of course, is going to be some results that happened over the past weekend. If you wanted to see a probably better rundown, you should check out the Best of 5 show from before this episode started, where Ace King Offsuit puts together a really nice set of slides with the actual full results, at least top 8s.
Yep, and Southeast Asia Majors, the best thing about this event is it's really starting to become like the premier Asia event. It's really, I feel like, starting to just kind of establish itself.
You feel like it's been like that?
Yeah, it has, but I feel like it's getting even more so now. Okay. Obviously there's going to be Evo Japan and stuff, but that's only 1 year old, so we'll see how long, and see how well that grows and everything like that. But,
that's true.
Obviously with Southeast Asia Majors, everyone's going there. It was a Capcom Premier event. It was the Asia Finals for CPT. Yep. It was a Saga event for Dragon Ball. It was a Masters event for Tekken. So it was everything. It's everything. And so, there's very few events that get that kind of play.
That is true. All right. Well, let's get to some of the results. I mean, we didn't go, so I can't talk about that part of it. I did hear it was cool. I heard it was fun.
Okay.
I also heard that Singapore was interesting to people who hadn't been there before.
Yeah, I would love to go to Singapore one of these days.
I agree with you.
So, yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right, well, let's talk about the old results then.
It's SEA Major now.
Yeah, that's what they were all saying, yeah.
So we can't call it SEAM anymore?
I mean, whatever.
We're esports. We have to... There you go.
I thought the results were pretty cool. Did you watch much of it, if any of it?
I watched pieces of it. I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of it. I was busy doing other things like karaokeing this weekend and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's the first time in a long time. Felt really good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I watched quite a bit of it. In Street Fighter 4, Big Bird is the dude who won the whole thing in the Open Premiere.
Dang, who did he use, Hakan?
He used Rashid and Ken?
You said Street Fighter 4.
Did I really?
Yeah, you said Street
crazy.
Fighter 4.
I can't believe that. That's wild. I didn't even notice.
Okay.
Like I so didn't notice that when you said a Street Fighter 4 character, it didn't jog my memory at all.
Right, yeah.
I just completely missed that I said it.
Okay.
Anyway, in Street Fighter 5, he won it with, of course, Rashid and Ken. Now, he won it over Tokido.
Right.
In the grand finals.
I mean, it's pretty crazy with Angry Bird and Big Bird now. Both of those players doing super, super well, both from the Middle East area.
Correct.
So, and you were talking last week a little bit about, wasn't there a Middle Eastern player, Tekken Master, doing really well in the IPS and stuff like that?
Yeah, in fact, the IPS Intercontinental, which sent one player to the IPS finals, the top two, the grand finals, were both of the Middle Eastern representatives. So yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, but Big Bird, that's really cool. That congratulations to him. I mean, that's a big, big win.
It really is, yeah. It was also really cool to see that Game Review got third. I feel like it's been a little while since that kind of thing happened, but winners finals was actually Big Bird versus Game Review.
I saw that. I didn't see the match, but I saw that they played against each other, and I saw some tweets from Game Review where he was just talking about he really has been like, he felt like this is what, like, one of the crazy majors that he was really trying hard for and everything like that. And the coolest, I don't know if you saw, like, a lot of after he won, there was a couple of matches that after he won, he was always just like there was twice he just had his hand on his head like, what just happened? Oh my God.
Yeah, he made some big calls.
Yeah,
he really did. I thought that was cool. And let's see. I mean, everybody was there.
Right.
It was stacked. So for East Asia, almost all the great players were there. So the fact that the dude who won it is one of the very few who traveled internationally, well, inter-regionally, maybe more accurately, to get there was Big Bird. But also Justin Wong, 5th place, coming out of North America.
Yeah, so I think that's a really big deal because he came into top 16 and in loser's side.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he started that in loser's side, and he was able to still get to top 8 into 5th place. I think that's really, really impressive. And what was I going to say? There was something I was going to say about the results. Oh, yeah, it's just... I just want to talk about Tokido a little bit more because I remember after SER, everyone's like, "Oh my God, look!" I mean, we'll get into this a little bit later, but they're like, "Street Fighter V so random and da 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 da," and because Tokido drowned in pools. But
before you get to that, the SF5 Arcade Edition Asian Finals, that was also the winner of that was Gachikun. But he did it over Tokido.
Right.
So Tokido got to grand finals in both of the Street Fighter V tournaments that happened that weekend.
Right. That's pretty ridiculous. And, I mean, he was 2nd place at EVO. I mean, he has a 2nd place curse right now, but, I mean, considering how many strong players there are out there, I don't think you can see that as a curse at all.
No. He's incredible.
So,
he is incredible. Yeah, and he did it from losers as well. That is correct. So that was all very cool. By the way, Abigail makes top 8 at a premiere again, so I hope that Donka will give out more Chun-Li codes, which is something he does that he hates.
So he's just said that he didn't think Abigail would ever make a top 8 after he was nerfed or something like that?
Correct. He said that Abigail would not make a top 8 at a premiere because he thought Abigail sucked.
Because he got nerfed that badly? Was this
during
during
season 3? I didn't think that he was that strong. Yeah, this was after the nerf, I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
That's crazy, because that character's so good.
Clearly good still. I mean, it's obvious.
So good. I mean, I almost still had him at top 5 at one point, but it's too hard now because there's too many other characters now. So there's a clear top 5.
Yeah,
there's a clear top 5.
Yeah. In Tekken, John Ding won it.
Yes.
However, to me, the more interesting thing is that 2nd place was AK, who's from the Philippines. 3rd place was Tejan from India.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, this was a Masters event, and it was in Southeast Asia, and everybody who's good from East Asia was there. Well, almost everybody who was good from East Asia is there. Okay. So, you look down the list, and like Kudance is right behind them, Book is right there, Noroma, Nobi, Dimeback. So, I mean, that's the rest of the top 8.
Like, I don't know if you remember, too, AK was the Filipino, like the 12-year-old 4 years ago. He was that kid that everyone's like, oh my God, who's this kid? He's super good. I think, didn't he play against Harada, like, at an event or something like that? Like, just as a fun little thing. But, like, he was just a kid, and now, obviously, I think he's like 15 right now, 15 or 16, and here he is, 2nd place at one of the most stacked Tekken 7 events. So good job to him. But John Ding, I think he's at number 2 in the Tekken World Tour rankings right now. So that guy. And what's cool about that is, I got to hang out with him in Canada a little bit. He's actually a really, really cool, funny guy.
It seems like he would be.
Yeah, he knows English pretty well and stuff like that. Okay. So, but he's really cool. Yeah, John Ding was really
seems like he would be a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, as people are pointing out, in Dubai, Nee got beaten twice by a Pakistani player whose name, I guess, is Arslan. I didn't know his name. But there you go.
Okay.
Which is pretty sick. So, shout-outs to players from regions who you don't typically see. I knew, just anecdotally, I went to law school with a guy from Pakistan who was really into Street Fighter. And even once he went back there and started practicing law in Pakistan, I kept up with him a little bit. And he said there's a scene, there are good players there. He had played a little bit in SoCal. I mean, he himself wasn't like a fantastic player. He was just really into it. Okay. But he said that the players in Pakistan were legit. I mean, they were, maybe not as good as the players who we saw in SoCal, but good.
No, man, it's just because the game is random, man. So, the
yeah.
results, you just can't.
It wasn't Street Fighter 4. But yeah.
No.
Anyway, I think it's super cool. I would love to see players more often from South Asia, from India and Pakistan and so forth. I think that would be super cool. Doubtless, there are strong players. There's just too many people there for there not to be some good players, right? Like just numbers.
Yeah. Well, that's good stuff, though. Good stuff. And again, I did watch some of the grand finals for Tekken 7.
Yeah, I watched the top 3 of this.
I was like, oh, where is it at? And I turned on my phone. It was grand finals.
Okay.
It was like 6, so I was sitting there watching that. So, yeah.
Dragon Ball FighterZ also occurred. Kazunoko won it. He got his second Dragon Ball, correct. But that just means that he opens up a second last chance qualifier spot when it comes to the finals.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people were polling for Moke because he got second place. I'm sure people, were pulling for him so that you could spread the Dragon Ball love around a little bit more. But Kazunoko, was Goichi there? Oh, I'm sorry, was Geo1 there?
Geo1, I don't think was there.
Geo1 was not there? Okay.
As far as I know.
Yeah, so.
But.
I see Dogura, Fenrich, the Kill Sage is there, Aqua. Who's that in 5th place right there? Kmart? Kmart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I heard that that was Leffen's round 1 match or round 2 or something like that. With the dude who ends up getting 5th.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's a bummer. Oh, he was on vacation, huh? In Dubai. Was he at the same event that Nee was at? Or was it
it might have been.
I don't know. But I thought it was cool to see Kill Sage beat Sonic Fox, which happened.
But the Kill Sage didn't look too happy about it because Sonic Fox was using his Beerus team.
He was.
And so I feel like, he was, probably thinking that, Sonic Fox wasn't giving it at all, playing with his Beerus goggles on, and it's just...
Beerus goggles.
And like, even the Kill Sage after he won almost kind of seemed like he wasn't popping off or anything like that,
right.
So...
Yeah, I don't think it was collusion, because collusion implies that both parties are they're in on it, right? It didn't seem to me like that was what.
And plus, another thing too is that Sonic Fox has too much of a history of playing just whatever the hell he feels like in a tournament to have anyone ever accuse Sonic Fox of throwing the match at the Kill Sage. To the point where who was it that yelled at Sonic Fox? Who was like, "Play your main," instead of the Starfire mirror.
Tweety, I think.
Tweety, yeah. So. Sonic Fox has been doing, every time I saw him play a top 8 of Mortal Kombat or Injustice, it was like a different character every time. So, and it's weird because it's really smart of him because he's never going to get caught by surprise by any character.
Yeah.
As a result, because he can play them all at a tournament level.
He doesn't need to win a Dragon Ball. He's already got that. I'm sure the money would be nice, but, he's okay. He's won $1 billion in fighting in tournaments, so I think he's okay. So I think for him it was more just about trying to prove that Beerus isn't the worst, which may or may not have been successful. But, you can't imagine. In fact, he said that that's not the team he's going to keep using.
Okay.
But it was fun to watch. I did watch. I don't watch the game that much anymore, but I did watch to see what his Beerus was doing. And against the Kill Sage, pretty much just getting ripped up. Pretty much. I feel like that's just a particular... he must play against the Kill Sage all the time.
Right.
So if anybody knows what a Beerus is going to do, it's going to be to Kill Sage. Right? So, anyway. Soul Calibur 6 was also played there. Winner was Shen Yuan.
Sage said Sonic Fox threw on Twitter. But see, again, I don't think it's more that Sonic Fox threw the game. I think it's just more like he was like, well, I'll just use this team because I just want to learn it in a tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I don't watch the game because there are other games that I like watching more. I don't dislike the game. It's just not my favorite. So.
Yeah.
One of my favorites right now is Soul Calibur 6, which I will be playing shortly. Ha ha! Shen Yuan won it. There was a pre-release tournament there with Siegfried, which was cool. Second place was Echo Fox Sonic Fox.
Yeah.
Apparently they had to delay the tournament substantially in order for him to be there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He didn't show up for top 4.
Oh, really?
So they played it the next day. It was something like that.
Are you serious? Oh, I thought he was stuck playing something else. No, he just didn't show up for it?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Honestly, that should have... He should be DQ'd.
Well, I'm with you, but, that's not what they ended up doing.
Should be DQ'd,
he got second place with Gerald, and then Orez got third with Nightmare.
Okay.
With Gerald. Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle was won by Koji KOG!
Oh, really? He did it with the Wildstein. Dude, that team is cheap. I don't think that team...
I think the team is crazy good.
I don't think that
Second
team is
place
bad.
was Nameless, a.k.a. Heiho, who won Evo.
He called himself Nameless?
Yeah, he signed up as Nameless for whatever reason.
Weird.
So Koji won through winners. Nobody beat him. I honestly, my honest opinion and belief is that team is top tier.
Dude,
I think it's super good.
I played bad versions of it, and I played good versions of it. I played against Jan one time online, and I just saw that. I was just like, there's no way this team can be bad.
I really think it's a good team.
I was like, there's no way that this team could be bad. Like, this team is ridiculous. So.
Yeah, I have heard rumors that I can't substantiate that some Japanese players think it's one of the best teams in the game as well.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
But I can't talk to them. Dude, the way that Koji plays Tager is amazing. Most other Tagers are basically doing like call out spark bolts in neutral, or they're spending meter. They're taking like big risks on like quarter circle back B, the invincible grab. He's not doing those things. He's playing a way better Tager. It's not that he's not taking risks, because you have to with that character, but he's moving in so often with stand B sledge with armor on it. He's jumping in at the perfect times. His resets are ridiculous. He makes the character so scary in a way that so few other people do.
Dude, it's just, anytime you have a character that has a standing reset, I just feel like that's just something that's super powerful. Every game, it feels like that, you have that kind of situation where you can do a standing reset on a character, automatically makes that character one of the best characters in the game. Like Batgirl kind of thing, Tager planting you down.
I don't think he's Batgirl good, to be
fair.
I get the point.
But I'm just saying, like, that's such a powerful mechanic, in my opinion. Yeah. So.
People are right to point out the fact that there were how many gourds? 4.
I just counted.
1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. Was that? I thought there was a 5th, but okay.
Well, I mean, 2 Ruby Gordos, right? So
2 sides.
But that's Kazunoko and Heiho again. Those 2 guys are always playing those 2.
Yeah.
So.
And they both lost.
Dude, I haven't played BB Tag in a while, to be honest with you. I haven't played the game because I've been so busy playing Tekken. Actually, I mean, even when I'm not playing it, I'm just labbing the hell out of the game right now. I just spent like 2 hours one night just sitting there taking throws. I just programmed King to do the 1 throw, a 2 throw, and a 1+2 throw, command throw, and just seeing if I could react to the arm, because apparently you're supposed to be able to see the arm. I don't believe it. Like, everyone says that, it takes years for it to get to that point. But, I mean, if it does, Jesus, because, like, it feels impossible. Like, if I just switch it to, like, it's a 1 or a 1+2 throw, I can get, like, 20 breaks in a row or, like, 15 breaks in a row if I'm really paying attention and stuff like that. As soon as I add in all 3 of them, it's like, I just don't even know what the hell is happening.
Well,
just getting tossed everywhere.
I think Tager Gord sounds like a good team. Why not? I feel like that should be very much the same, actually.
Trust me, or a TV. I've had no reactions since I was young, dude. Trust me. I've been not uppercutting jump-ins since like Alpha 1, dude. It's really bad. So.
Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2 was won by Daru Ino. Dogura 2nd place. Bjorn Sanabera got 4th.
Ooh, nice. Wait, he was at SEAM, huh?
Yes, sir, he was.
Oh, nice. Good
DVCF
stuff.
was won by
Daru Ino.
Okay,
Daru Ino. He's the Korean Ino player.
Yes.
And that's a big deal because Korea has never been as strong as Japan is, and he's always been one of those guys that's there. So. Yeah, that's why I wasn't doing regular throws with my test. I was doing the 1+2 stuff. I mean, obviously, if it's just a regular throw, you can break with 1 or 2. It's not a command throw. You can break them generically. So yeah, that's different. It's a different thing. Yeah, between Giant Swing and Muscle Buster, good luck on that one. So Muscle Buster's weird because you can't buffer that move, and it's really, I can't use it because of that. It's like if you're not in neutral, the command for it is down, back, 1+2. Okay. It's a 1+2 throw. It's like
enough.
One of King's best throws because it's his best 1+2 throw. It's 50 damage. You can't buffer it. What I mean by you can't buffer it is unless you are in neutral, the down and the down back will not register. So in other words, if I'm in the middle of a punch and I do down back and I do the command and hit the punches after the move is done, he's just going to do back 1+2 throw. You cannot buffer it.
What a weird restriction.
There's certain moves. So like the all the command dashes, forward, neutral, down, forward. None of those can be buffered. Oh. All of those have to be done on pure neutral. So they did that. I feel like to the Muscle Buster on purpose. Otherwise, King would be way better. Like he would be either that or they would have to make the Muscle Buster do like 30 damage, just to make it fair. So.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting restriction. Anything else to say about SEAM or CM?
CM. Again, lots of events there. It looks like it's doing a really good job, growing big. You know, I would love to try to... Wait, what's Green Arcade?
Oh, yeah, the Tekken Arcade. I did hear about that closing.
Which Tekken?
Big bummer.
Where is that at? In Japan? Or?
No, I think that's in Korea, and it closed in bad circumstances where, like, they threw out somebody's medals. I forget which one of the top players that was, but, like, they just threw them out in the trash. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Knee?
It's a knee. Yeah, that sucks.
Oh, my God. That sucks.
That sucks.
They had all the trophies for JDCR and knee, and they were all destroyed. Oh, God, that sucks. Ugh.
Yeah, that definitely sucks.
Man, that's garbage, dude. Ugh. Okay, anyways. No, that's all I have to say about that. Let's see if we have some more events here. There was also Buenos Aires True Salt.
Yeah.
That was this weekend here. So, again, support the Latin FGC, the LATAM FGC.
Correct.
Always a big proponent of those. And I'm really glad to see, I'm just seeing the results for the first time here. One, Pochoclo, 5th place. Very, very strong player. He does a lot of crazy Manat stuff.
Okay.
He's obsessed with Manat labbing.
Sick.
Like the stuff that he comes up with Manat is like, he's like the Latin American Sacco, basically.
Okay,
like
cool.
He's just coming up with crazy things. So good job to him getting 5th place. But first place was Furia HK Dash,
right,
who is a Bison player that has always been on the cusp all the time.
Sure.
He's always been doing super well, and you know, Bison's kind of that hot thing right now.
He's a good character.
Yeah, character's so good.
It's true.
Character's so good. But yeah, congratulations to AK Dash. AAG Preda got 2nd with Urian, PR3DA. And Dragon Ball Fighters was won by BM Dante. And in Tekken 7...
King Blue River got 4th place.
Oh, nice. Okay. And in Tekken 7, first place went to Pai Palfonte? Fonte?
Huh.
Pai Palfonte.
Okay.
I have a funny feeling there's a typo in there somewhere. It's supposed to be Pal Pal or Pai Pai, or maybe it is Pai Pal. Sorry. Apologies to him if I got your name wrong. With King and Akuma. There you go. Cool stuff. Guilty Gear was also played there, and Etna won first place with Bedman.
Cool.
So again, that's in the Latin America scene over there, and that's a scene that, you know, like I said, I always talk about a lot, and I feel like it's very important. It's not just that they don't get the exposure, it's just that they don't have the ability to travel as much and stuff like that.
That's both, right?
So, you know, one of the, yeah, exactly, and that's why I feel like it's very important that they do get the premier events, that they do get some good ranking events and stuff like that, because if they can't come to us and we can get to them a little bit easier, I feel like it's kind of our responsibility to go down there and help them out as much as possible. So that's why I really enjoyed like how they had that Colombia Tekken event last week, and you know, they flew all the regulars down there to do commentary and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. So
yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Also this weekend was X Street Battle.
Yeah. This was a Super Turbo tournament.
Yes. And this was... Where did this take place again? A lot of the Japanese players there, it looks
I think it's in France.
Okay, it's in France here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, there it is, in France. And so there was a team tournament and a singles tournament there. And the team tournament was won by Murasaki Vega with Dictator and Bison, who's
the
Vega.
Dick.
Yes, and Koemon with Fei Long,
Dang,
of course,
so
and Kawasim with Dolls. That's a messed up team.
It's a weird team, but it's
That's a messed up team, dude. Yeah, but Eurobeat got 2nd place with Zagi Chun-Li, Balcork Fei Long, and Spinal Blood Sagat.
Dang, check out the 3rd team.
3rd team is Yoga Sangria, which is LA Dose Blackmane with Zangief, LA Dose W with Dalsum, and TMF with Zangief.
Dang, they have 2 of the worst character in the game on their team?
2nd worst character. 2nd worst character. But they had one of the best character in the game.
They definitely did.
Sorry, 2nd best character in the game. So I still think Vega's better than Dalsum, but Dalsum is definitely number 2. Dalsum is definitely number 2.
Good character.
I played against. It was so funny because I played against Eugene. I was trying to help him practice for Canada Cup, and so
Okay, cool.
it's like me, Eugene, and Tanya. We're just sitting there playing. So I was just using all the characters against his Dhalsim, and it's like I tried Vega, and he could beat my Vega. I was trying all these other characters that are really good with him, but I don't play that much Bison, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, Bison's pretty good against Dhalsim. He's like, I have trouble against Bison. So I played against Bison against him, and I was beating him, dude. So that's definitely a.
That's even, but all right, man.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever play him in a tournament, I'm playing Bison.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I told him that afterwards. I was like, I'm playing Bison at you in tournaments from
Yeah.
now on. He's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
But dude, God, that character is so good.
So it was old Zangief and Zangief? That's
old
hilarious.
Zangief and Zangief. I mean, it makes sense because old Zangief is still legit in the game.
Yeah, Soundscope says you couldn't have two of the same character on one team, so one played old Zangief, one played new Zangief. They're very similar characters.
Yeah. But I mean, old Zangief, there's a lot of people who like using him because they just don't want to have the green hand get in the way. They don't want to have the stupid little headbutts get in the way.
That's
and things
true,
like
the
that.
headbutts.
So there's a lot of people who do play old Zangief. So
Yeah,
it makes sense.
There was
to
a
me.
rumor that he walked faster, but I believe that was disproved.
Dude, everyone said that about every old version of the character.
Correct.
Walks faster. I think it's only true for like one character,
Yeah, I
like
think it's mostly
Ken
not
or
the
something
case,
like
yeah.
that. But
There was also a solo tournament.
yeah, solo tournament, and those three guys who won the team tournament, they're top three.
Dang.
Koamon got first place with Fei Long. Second place was Murasaki Vega with Dictator. Third place was Kawasim with Dhalsim. And it's interesting because as much as this game has been around for like 25 years now, Fei Long is just like his stock
funny, right?
keeps rising.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting. Like people have just started figuring out how to use this character better. And
He's such a fun character in that game,
yeah,
too.
he was considered bad, like when it started,
Yeah.
and he was always like on the bottom. He was always like in the bottom 5 because he was just by default there.
Yeah.
But man, now like I've heard he's like considered high tier in the game. So
Pretty cool.
yep. Yeah, Fei Long does a crap ton of damage, and honestly,
Yeah.
Chicken Wing, I don't know what the heck is wrong with. Like, it's funny because like we know it's all hurt boxes and hit boxes nowadays, right? But there's still something about Super Turbo that feels mysterious sometimes. Like, why is it that Zangief can never lariat T-Hawk's jumping roundhouse? You just can't. Like, it always loses to T-Hawk's jumping roundhouse. Like, I can't figure out why. It's
That
like,
makes sense, right? Like, it hits him in the belly, right? Like,
well, no, it's even at the height
Even at
of
the height.
it just doesn't win, right? And same thing with Fei Long's Chicken Wing. It just has like weird hit boxes that you
cannot
just
lariat
cannot hit that move at all. So it's really interesting. So, oh man.
Anyway, cool.
Yeah, there you go. So, and again, hopefully next week. So it'll be the week before Canada Cup.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is going to be where the Tournament of Legends finals is going to be taking place. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get Eugene and Tanya on the show to talk about that a little bit. They want to come here in person, not even just Discord.
Cool.
So they, I've been talking to them and trying to get them on the show. So we'll talk a lot about Super Turbo next week before
Sounds fun to
Canada
me.
Cup. So yeah, there you go.
A game that I am ass at.
Super Turbo?
Last time I played, I was bad.
Really? Did you just feel like you're out of practice?
I
or
just felt like
something?
I was like, wait, what do I do? It was this
Wow,
weird feeling.
that's weird. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I've never felt that way about ST, but now I feel like I'm really bad at it.
Huh, interesting.
Some other stuff occurred, I believe.
Yeah,
I don't think it was major stuff.
Yeah, I think there was like a few online events or something. There's a Tekken World Tour Online Week 1 events. What is this? Let me see. Oh no, this was last month, so this was something else that happened for. Yeah, okay.
All right,
we
yeah,
talked
that's
about
fair.
this before. Yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Maybe that was it after all.
Okay. But this weekend is this weekend ECT?
I think this weekend's ECT.
This weekend's ECT. Okay, so this weekend's ECT. So that's going to be coming up this weekend. That's going to be fun. That used to be at the same weekend as First Attack in
Oh, that's right.
before, but on Labor Day. But now it's at this time frame. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm not going to be able to watch. Well, I might be able to watch it because the Tetris schedule is very light. So but they're going to have Tetris Effect there to let people play that. That's the new one, the trippy
cool.
one. The trippy
right,
one.
yeah.
And there's like I'm gonna crack out on that game. I'm gonna play that a bunch of times. I think they're gonna do like some impromptu little tournament there. So I was like, maybe I should play
Cool,
this,
dude.
see what I can do.
They're going to have Soul Calibur because it's officially going to be out for all the plebs
Oh,
who
that's
don't have
right.
it yet. It's
Who
going to
don't
be
have
out
the
for
mom,
everybody.
Who don't have the mom and pop stores next to them.
Good old mom and pops. It will also be what's that over there?
I'm just trying to get rid of the glare. That's all.
I didn't even notice that back there.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You didn't notice it? Okay,
no,
so you can
thanks
leave.
for pointing it out.
You can leave without it then.
It's right. It's like next door to you. You could get it.
Yeah, I already ordered it. So
I mean, I'm just saying you could have it tonight if you want it.
I know.
He's not doing it. No. It's also going to be the last chance qualifier for the Injustice Pro Series.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Nice. Okay, I saw Joe tweet something about the fact that Ivy's 66A or 66B or whatever that crazy move is getting nerfed, so it doesn't hit as far. I heard it's a little worse. Yeah, 66 hold A. Yeah. So
one that just basically swept the screen. there was a big, maybe not big, but there was an area in like the middle of it where it didn't connect. There was like a dead zone, I guess. I've heard that that's bigger than it was before, but I haven't tried it yet. So.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Do you want to take a break, or do you want to just jump into the 5-5 topics here? 5-5 matchup?
Let's take a break on account of I have to pee.
Okay, no problem. Be right back, guys, so David can pee. Be right back.
Are you trying to make me pee right now? Are you trying to do the running water sound? So I
don't know, maybe.
What a jerk.
I mean, look, I'm just saying, I was the one who just drank a whole bottle of water, and I'm sitting here just fine, okay? I'm still holding it in just fine. I have very strong bladder control. If there was actually a fighting game tournament of commentators on who had the greatest bladder control, it would probably be me. I would definitely win that tournament for free, in my opinion. I would win that tournament, I think, for free. So.
What tournament?
Tournament of commentators for bladder control. I think I would win that tournament. I think I have the best bladder control out of all the commentators out there.
Well, I definitely lose it. I'm not good at it.
Did you actually just ask me if I was twice his size? That's like me asking if Tasty Steve's girlfriend was a foot taller than him.
That was hilarious. She's not.
I am not twice.
She's 3 inches taller.
I'm not twice.
However,
in fact, I just weighed myself recently. I am almost down 30 pounds for a year.
Okay.
For almost a year now. So.
Nice work.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm doing good.
So you know how last time I was talking about how I have this hypermobility and ligament laxity thing?
Yeah.
So it turns out that it's common for people who have that to have poor bladder control.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So it's just another way it fits.
Starvation is one hell of a diet, James. It's not actually too far from the case, but it's not like I'm starving because I'm not buying food because I'm trying to save money. It's literally just I'm just not buying food because my stomach is shrank and I just don't eat as much anymore.
Well, that's good.
So I'm not as hungry.
That's fine.
So, yeah, I don't have enough money to eat.
I have ligma. I guess I kind of do have ligma.
I guess that, yeah.
I should just. Why haven't I been saying that in retrospect?
You have ligament.
I've wasted so many opportunities where I've told people that I have ligament laxity, and now I could have been saying ligma the whole time.
Right.
Now I can't go back and redo those interactions. It's over.
I've actually been drinking a lot less soda, but that's not because of any reason outside of the fact that I found out I was pre-diabetic, and then my doctor was like, so can you limit it to like one soda a week, 1 or 2 sodas a week? And I was like, he's like, how many sodas do you drink right now? And I was like, maybe 3 to 4 cans a day. And he was like, okay, let's try 1 can a day. How's that? And I was like, okay. So I'm actually down to probably about like maybe 5 cans a week at this point in time. So I go days. And now like I actually have, I have all this diet soda. No. Sorry about this, but fuck diet soda, dude. That shit is so gross. God, I can't cold. I've tried cutting soda cold before, and every time I do, I run back to it. And so I think that this is working better for me. Knowing that I'll always just be able to drink soda just because I feel like it makes it so that I can drink. It's like now, if I do drink soda, I literally only drink one a day.
Good.
Like I just drink the one soda. I don't get a refill anymore wherever I'm at, or I just only refill enough so I can take my old man medication, and then that's it. And I've been drinking a ton of water, and I've been buying a bunch of these drinks out there called Bai. They're not very good, but they're like the best thing that I can get that don't contain a lot of sugar.
Okay.
So they're like the most drinks that I actually kind of like. So.
The only categories of drinks that I drink are water, coffee and tea.
Nev, do you
booze.
mean buys are sick as in that they're good sick or that they're bad sick? And there's another one called Core. They all have this kind of strange aftertaste, this weird watery aftertaste. It's like really weird. It's like you drink them, they taste a little sweet, and then after you swallow it, it's like the flavor just completely evaporates, and it's just kind of weird, but I actually don't mind them. So, dude, fruit smoothies are not the right choice for me right now. That would actually, I think, mess me up a little bit more.
All right, let's come back.
I can't do sparkling water. Before we go back, I'm just going to explain that I cannot drink sparkling water because it feels like soda, so I expect it to be sweet. So when the bubbly hits my tongue, I expect it to be sweet. So all sparkling water is super bitter and super gross.
Thanks for subscribing.
I can't do it. Oh, shout outs to Super Turbo Turtle.
You should try a chocolate phosphate.
What's a chocolate phosphate?
It's chocolate syrup plus soda water. It's an old Ashkenazi favorite.
Yeah. No. I think I've had stuff like that before. I think I've had that before, actually. So, anyways, okay.
All right, later. Whoa,
that was.
I will add to the list of things that I drink, which is.
Hang on a second. Let me just remove these things here.
Whoa, what's going on? Some crazy crap.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remove stuff.
I drink water, and I drink coffee and tea, and I drink alcohol. But the other category is that whenever I go to a Mexican restaurant, I get Jamaica.
Jamaica?
That's it.
What's Jamaica?
Made out of like a flour or something? I don't remember. It's like a really good. Yeah, I mean, it's like the same category.
Okay.
Of drink.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about fruit is like
hibiscus. Yeah.
There was one time I drank fruit juices. Maybe it's just because the ones that you buy in the store are bad for you. But when I drink the fruit juices, like I gain so much ridiculous amount of weight.
Yeah, they're sweet and it's just sugar.
It's just not good at all. So.
All right, let's do this 5-5 matchup thing.
Yes.
First up, do you want to talk about the Marvel or do you want to
Let's talk about Marvel first.
Let's talk about Marvel. There is a
Basically,
rumor.
Stop leaving Marvel rumors. Just get over it already. Anyways, what were you about to say?
I think that may have been in our 5-5 matchup about Marvel 4. There's a rumor that Marvel 4 is being made.
Right. And they're rebranding MvCI because there's so much negativity associated with it that they're going to drop that name, rebrand it as MvC4 because they had always planned to bring the X-Men and all those characters in there, but it sold so poorly that so they're going to try one more time to try to release a game that people will buy.
And update it to not look like garbage. And that's the rumor. Now, first off, do you believe in that rumor? You don't.
Where's that gif of J. Jonah Jameson doing the... I gotta laugh, dude. That's all I want to do.
Okay. I think it's nonsense as well. Easy. I feel like, clearly. But that game did so poorly that I just can't imagine any video game company that's interested in making money would think that there's money in doing another one. Now, they have gotten... Capcom itself says, like, they're doing better because of Resident Evil having done super well.
Right, okay.
So they made a lot of money.
Hunter,
I'm sorry,
Monster Hunter,
having done so well.
And some people are saying that it's also because Combo Fiend has been working at Marvel, and so people are like, maybe he's the in that he's been able to talk to Marvel and convince them that this is worth, doing stuff for.
Maybe. I don't know, my bobblehead.
MvCI still sold 1 million copies. You don't know, from a gaming standpoint, how sad that is. Like, it sucks. It sucks to say that, but like I have talked to people in the gaming industry, and they're like, "Yeah, this game sold 2 million copies. It flopped so bad," and it's like, what? like, how many people even play video games? Like, the video game market is really, it's a shitty
Also, did it really
market.
sell 1 million? I feel like that's too many. But.
I mean, I feel like maybe if it shipped 1 million copies,
Yeah, maybe that.
not sold. So, yeah.
In any case, it didn't sell great. Everybody knows it. It was a flop. I just would be so surprised if they nevertheless put money into it, even if they have money from other games. As like a general company, if they have more money, that doesn't mean they're going to spend it on Marvel.
Right.
Because it was bad in terms of the response to the game. Second question, to me more interesting, do you want another Marvel?
I only do just because I think MvCI is such a good game, and it makes me sad that it has this kind of reputation. And you know what? I'm not going to sit here and tell people to play it and defend it or whatever like that, because the game looks like crap. And you know what? People don't like playing games that look like crap.
It sounds like crap and it looks like crap.
Right. It's just like, why would you, like...
I get it.
Yeah, it's...
The gameplay is great, but...
People talk about, graphics not mattering or whatever like that, and that's never been really true in the first place, right? About any genre of video games.
You're right.
You're always just going to love it when the game looks beautiful, right? So, game looks like crap, sounds like crap, plays great, but if they could get a makeover and make it look a little bit better, and... a
little bit better.
Well, a lot better. I mean, because the thing about it is, like, you look at the results, it looks really interesting. All the results are really cool. Lots of different characters, even a lot of different gem usage and stuff like that.
Yep.
And honestly, I mean, just for selfish OCD reasons, but, like, if that means Wolverine can get into the game so that he's not missing from only one Marvel game, like, that would make me happy. But, again, it's a pipe dream. I would be awesome to have it. It would be awesome to have Marvel be back on top of kind of things and stuff like that. But it's just, like you said, it just doesn't make any sense. Why would anyone do, like, why would Capcom be like, yeah, this is a great idea. Let's put money into this. Unless it's because they have a bunch of assets that they paid for that they haven't done anything with. And maybe they feel like they can recoup more money by just working a little bit to do more stuff, to recoup the cost that they spent on a bunch of assets that didn't get released. Like, what if they have, like, 10 half-finished characters?
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Or maybe even 10, 80% finished characters, because that's how video games work. 80%,
I think that's what they launched the game with.
Right. Oh, no, actually, it was more like 20. But, if they could do it, then, maybe it makes sense from that standpoint.
What a fun game.
But we'll see.
It really is a good game in terms of gameplay. IMO, it's a good game. I'm not sure I want it.
Yeah?
Yeah. As much as I like Marvel Infinite to play, and I really do, I'm just not sure that I want an update to that game in the context of so many other games. I don't know that it would be enough to overcome other games that I think are really good in a way that Marvel Infinite doesn't. That is to say, like, I think the people who want to play Marvel games are basically doing it right now.
The Dragon Ball and BlazBlue, basically, right?
Like, what used to just be the Marvel scene is now spread around between Marvel scene, BB Tag, and Dragon Ball. And I think that most of those players are pretty happy doing what they're doing right now. So I'm not sure that there's, like, a big competitive need for it. So, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's still a lot of players who aren't playing a lot of the other games, right? Like, we have no Clockwork going around here.
He plays Marvel Infinite.
Yeah, well, I know, but I mean, in terms of non-Marvel games, right?
No, I'm saying some Marvel players have stuck with Marvel.
Oh, okay,
right?
okay.
Others have been playing BB Tag and Dragon Ball.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so basically, if they just brought it back, you just think it would be too crowded, kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know that broadens the competitive scene all that much. And I have plenty of games to play, so
yeah, I know Clock has been dabbing in BB Tag. I talked to him about that.
He would like that game.
Yeah, because I think it was just, I don't think he has much of a choice right now, because Marvel is not doing anything for him at this point in time, which is really unfortunate. So, but I really do think that, again, like, selfishly, I would just like to see it again, because I just think it's a fun game.
It is a fun game.
And some people are talking about, like, making it a tag game and the active switching assist and stuff like that. And all I can think to myself is good luck finding a control scheme for that. Because I don't know how you would do that, to be honest with you. It's already, hey, shout out to Tac Kilo for the 200 bits. Woo! Because, I mean, that's one of the things about Skullgirls that I think is already kind of tough, because it's a 6-button game with tag mechanics, and every button combination is something. And sometimes it's the diagonal buttons, which is just really odd, you know. And stuff. And, you know, honestly, you know, I've had conversations with Mike before where, like, there's got to be a better way. And then, like, we just sit there and it's like...
You could just use 8 buttons.
Yeah, you could just add more buttons to it, but is that a good thing? So I don't know, because making it 8-button game. But then again, a lot of people play fighting games like 8-button games these days. So
they do.
I definitely do that in a lot. In BB Tag, I definitely do that.
Oh, do you?
So yeah, in Tekken, I'm doing that now. I'm actually playing with 8 buttons because...
Tekken, really?
The weird thing about Tekken is that a lot of the difficult moves in the game are hidden behind the fact that, you know how in most fighting games, if you hit 2 buttons at the same time, if you hit them 1 frame apart, it counts anyway. So it'll start one move for 1 frame and then cancel the other one. That doesn't exist in Tekken, right? So a lot of times, for example, if you want to do the rolling death cradle, right, it's actually 1 plus 3, 3 plus 4, 4 plus 2, and all that stuff. And if you ever miss that by 1 frame, it just won't happen, right? So there's a lot of... And for King, it's kind of cheesy because you can use the all 4 button to, like, cheat a lot.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, so rolling death cradle, you can actually hit 1 plus 3, then 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and then it'll just work for you. It'll just do the whole thing, and there's a lot of things like that in the game that makes it so that you can do that. And so I actually have 1, 2, and then 1 plus 2 next to it. So if I break throws, I can use those 3 buttons at the top to do that. I have 1 dead button that I actually use to time things, because to do instant while running, you can't hit forward and the button at the exact same time. If you hit them on the same frame, it will not work. The way instant while running is forward, 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 1 frame later, hit the button, right? So I have a dead button that I plink into the button that I want to do. So I go forward, forward, plink. So I time it so that the dead button is on the same time as the forward, and then the other button comes a frame later. And I've actually heard, even though I came up with that myself, I heard somebody else does that too, that they put a dead button in there for that kind of timing and stuff like that. So I actually use 8 buttons for Tekken right now. It's really confusing sometimes, but it's there.
Sounds like it may be.
Yeah.
For BB Tag, I'm just playing on 6 or 5. 5. But in Street Fighter 5, I play on 8 because I have the V reversals.
Oh, really? You just put the V reversal as a button? Do you use the air dash button in BB Tag? Because I find that button super useful.
Not necessary with hitbox.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Super easy.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I do know about the button buffering in Tekken, but that doesn't work for stuff like rolling death cradles and stuff like that. So the way that Tekken works also is if you have to hit 1 plus 2 at the same time, if you know you have a move that you have to hit 1 plus 2 at the same time, you can hit 1 during a time where it won't do anything, and if you hit 2, it counts as 1 plus 2 if you hold 1 down. So a lot of times if I want to do the ending throw for King's combos, which is forward, forward, 2 plus 4, I'm already holding 4 down before I start running forward, and then all I have to do is just hit 2. So,
all right,
I do know that.
Yeah, I believe hitbox is the best, and also Tager doesn't have an air dash, so it doesn't.
That's true.
But it does.
Because I actually use it because it's actually useful for me just because it's easy to time things. So like if I want to jump over you with an air dash and call the assist, it's like...
Are you holding a Switch controller in your make-believe hands right now?
Yes, I am.
So on Switch, I do use that, because it's impossible to do, as far as I know, to do instant air dash stuff on the Switch thing.
But I also do it because I put on medium kick, I actually put the air dash button there as well when I play BB Tag. So, because I do ABC, D. I do ABC.
Where's P?
P is roundhouse, it's heavy kick. And I put air dash at medium kick. So I play Guilty Gear format, upside down U. That's how I play it. Okay. And then I use the air dash there, so I can just jump and go bloop, like this, and so I can air dash, call, and assist like instantaneously and stuff like that.
Just play hitbox.
I know. I should. It's the right answer. When is SC6
Anyway,
out?
clearly Marvel's not going to happen. Obviously, duh.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's put it this way. If it does happen and everyone's like, see, James and David, you were wrong, I'd be more than happy. Right? Yeah. Like, I'm fine with that. But to have anybody to keep getting these hopes ups, I mean, we've had rumors of an update to MvCI about 4 times already that it's almost like it is like almost tiring to even talk about the rumors at this point. That's so much to the point that we're not even talking about it anymore. So
I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter V lately.
Okay, second topic of 5-5 matchup.
Correct. And I've really, really been enjoying it again.
Okay.
And part of that is my realization that I think that I have been viewing parts of the game as inconsequential that are actually among the most important parts of the game.
Okay.
So the wake-up game I've been viewing as basically inconsequential. So the quick get-up or back roll delay, and whether you press a button after any of them. I haven't been taking that seriously enough. And when I started looking at it as a more serious kind of thing, I see a lot of value in it, in that seemingly simple thing. I really like that the game gives you just a few defensive options, and I really like that the game makes kind of like a scrambly. It's a very scrambly feeling offense and defense. It's not something that feels controlled offensively or defensively unless you're super good at the game, which I am not yet. So I like that scrambly feeling. It's something that I feel like I don't get in most games, even in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. I feel like I'm typically not feeling scrambly because I have so many options. Everybody has a Dragon Punch. Everybody has push block. Everybody has movement in a way that doesn't really exist in Street Fighter V. So in Street Fighter V, I feel like I'm kind of like honed down into this wake-up game that is really... There are call-outs that exist in it that seem like they don't matter. Like, that is to say, if you give somebody a certain meaty button timing, it can be a big call-out, even though that doesn't feel like it's a big deal.
What do you mean by giving someone a meaty...
So, putting a button into them that would hit them as they're waking up quick rise rather than back tech.
Okay,
That doesn't feel like it's a big deal because in other games it may not be. Street Fighter 4, like, that wouldn't feel like a big deal because there's just so many other things going on. But in Street Fighter 5, that's a really big deal, and I like that it's sort of like that compact, that you can call somebody out on their wake-up timing in a way that's just a single button timing. There's not a bunch of lead up into it. It's just a button, but you have it at the right spot at the right time, and that really matters. And I like that it's this kind of like compact feeling that you have sort of boiled down what other games take a long time to set up, a long time to do, give you a whole bunch of options. This game is just like, here's your 3 things, and there's, I feel like, a certain elegance in that I've actually come to really enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I actually was just had an episode last week where I was talking about how we need more options on that situation. So.
I think the game would be the worst for it because I think that's
because the thing about it
unique.
Is I understand the uniqueness and I understand what it does for the game. I just think it's bad for longevity of players. I think it's bad for the mood of players. It's just not a friendly. So what I've always said one of the biggest weaknesses. I've always said one of the things that's problem about Street Fighter V is that the game doesn't let you feel like a badass. You don't feel like you ever do anything right. Right?
I disagree with that.
And so, like, every time when you talk to top players, when they actually do get the call out and hit them with the right meaties and stuff like that, they don't feel great about it. They don't feel like, ha-ha!
I think there's a lot of variance in that. Some people do think that way, that's true, but other people don't.
I feel like, and then it makes it hard because it doesn't feel like you're playing the game a lot of the times. So when you get knocked down by someone who's better than you, you're just not getting up off the floor. And you're going to die. And again, exactly, there are some people who like that. But the problem with that is I feel like that it makes it so that's why the game is so salt-inducing. That's why people get so angry at the game. And that's why people think it's garbage because they don't understand that aspect of the game because they're not playing. Because they never get up the floor. Even in Super Turbo, like I was explaining this in my Uncensored that I just did, that even when you got up and blocked, you can't be thrown when you get up. You got up and blocked. That's still a success. It still feels like you got one success in, and then you got put into the mix-up. In Street Fighter V, it just feels like there's no success at all. Like if someone throws you, then meaties you and hits you and then you die and then shimmies you and then you die, like there's like no success. And there's absolutely no success. And yes, that can be a part of the way that the game plays, but it is so not casual friendly and it is so frustrating to lose to that I think that's why so many people view the game negatively. And I want it changed, not necessarily because it'll make it a better game, but because it'll make it a more palatable game for a lot of people. I suggested that if you don't do a quick rise or a back roll, you cannot be thrown on wake up. So that if someone calls that out, they get cool Laura Fireball setups or Cody Rock setups or cross-ups. Now the cross-ups are back. So you can't be thrown when you get up on non-quick rise or back roll. And there's a reason to not do that. Because honestly, let's face it, there's almost never a reason not to quick rise or back roll, one of those two. Like doing nothing is like almost pointless in most situations, unless you just want to give yourself some time or throw the opponent off a little bit. But if they're on their game, it doesn't work. So I think that they should just make it so that if you don't do anything, you can't be thrown on get up. So at least you have a guaranteed block in that situation, which doesn't necessarily put you in a great situation, but it psychologically gives players the feeling that they're doing something more.
Here's my feeling. When Street Fighter 6 comes out, there will be lots of people who have been growing up in fighting games playing Street Fighter 5. And when it doesn't have the same kind of paucity of defensive options that SF5 has, they'll think that it's too easy. And they'll view it as scrub-friendly and random. I think that people come into SF5 expecting it to play in a way that previous Street Fighters have or other games have. And I guess that's natural because that's just our experience. But it doesn't play like that. And I think that that's totally fine. I have come to really enjoy the defensive call-out as well, of mixing up my wake-up timings and pressing a button. I feel like pressing a button gets such a bad rap, but it's something that happens in every game, literally in every game.
Dude, especially in Dragon Ball. I see that happen all the time. Like after Vanish, after everything, it's like, oh my god, he challenged you. You see that a lot.
I really like that moment of the challenge. And so on both the offensive and defensive sides, I really like that. I think it'd be unfortunate if the game changed that because I think it's like so core to it. I like that there's not a lot that you can do. I like that it's boiled down to these options. That is unique to me and it's fun to me. I like the other games too. I like having a whole bunch of options. I think that's cool. But I also really like that this game has boiled that down into this kind of, in my opinion, elegant set of options. And I think that once SF6 comes out, this is the conversation that people are going to be having. That SF6 is... because Capcom always kind of goes back and forth, right? They don't want to have... SF4 wasn't going to have parries, right? This game wasn't going to have whatever. I think that in the next one, it's going to be that the defensive options change. People are going to say the game's too easy on Wake Up. That it's for babies. That it's a Scrubs game and that it's random because you can't... Once you knock somebody down, there's no reward for it, right? That's good. So I wish that people would just kind of jump to the point where they just can handle what the game is and appreciate the game for what it is, rather than always wishing for something that is not there. I mean, it's not rock paper scissors, right? So in different, you have to know all of the little options, and that's something else that I really like about it, is that I feel like I need to know so much of the small stuff in SF5. I need to know what everybody's best meaty timing is on every knockdown that they have, because some characters prefer to have a button on back tech if they can make you wait for it. Well, some characters prefer to have it on the front. So you need to know all these different things, and they have different... Some timings they cannot get a crush counter into because it's just not ready yet. So it's not a rock, paper, scissors situation. You just have to know what the weights are, like any mix-up. Right,
and not only that, but it's always better to time for the quick rise than it is for the back roll. Because if you're wrong on the quick rise, you get hit. If you're wrong on the back roll, you get counter hit. And that's a problem right there. So you can get damaged way more. So if you're trying to time for a back roll and they do a quick rise and you hit a button late and they jab you, then they get their jab counter hit combo. If you actually quick rise, if you're expecting quick rise and they back roll, you hit a buttons too early, they hit you in recovery with a jab. They don't get as big of a combo. So there's a lot of weight in there. So it's not that way. It's the rolling mechanic is the only thing that makes it so that once someone's knocked down, it's not just like the end, basically.
Yeah. It's not that I'm forcing myself to like it. I had previously been basically only playing BB Tag and Injustice for like whatever since BB Tag came out. But I don't know. I took another look at the game and I found that I've been ignoring things about the game that I think are actually really important to it. So I think I've been taking the tack that what in previous games was not relevant or not super important, because it's all relevant, wasn't super important,
right,
should also not be important in this game, but that's not the case. And in retrospect, I'm kind of wondering why I did that, because I know it's a different game, and I don't think that I gave that side of the game a fair enough look.
What I never understood, though, is that, they kind of made the game based on that. I don't understand why, like, throws and stuff don't let you back roll. Like, throws only give you the two options, just quick rise and not quick rise. I feel like the option should have existed for everything, because that just makes it so stuff like Cody's little home run setup into the rock is guaranteed every time, because the home run doesn't give you that option. I feel like the whole game is, if it's going to be based around that, then you should get it in every situation.
I don't know if you need it constantly, but I do really like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Street Fighter 5 Season 4 does need a big change. I think it needs a big, massive change, because most fighting games have changed a lot, even shorter than that. Alpha 1 to Alpha 2, Alpha 3,
forever,
CVS 1 to CVS 2.
I don't think any game's been like that since SF4.
But Street Fighter 5, it's already been 3 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like Season 4 needs at least something to shake the game up.
I mean, they just put in some stuff with new V-triggers and whatnot.
Yeah.
I really think that
not
it's...
custom combos, by the way.
Oh, for sure not.
Not custom combos.
It reminds me of SF4 and how people view that game so positively now, and how they did not for the first 2 or 3 years of that game's life.
Even the last year of its life. I tell the story all the time that by the end of Street Fighter 4, I was like, I really like the place that this game is at. I think this is a really good game. It'll stand the test of time as a true, a quality entry in the Street Fighter series. And everyone got mad at me. They're just like, you Capcom apologists, this game sucks, whatever. Elena sucks, FADCs suck, One Frame Link sucks, Invincible Backdash sucks. All these, just wait till Street Fighter 5, and then we'll see what real Street Fighter is. And Street Fighter 5 came out, and I was like, Street Fighter 5 is a fine game. It's fun. And everyone's like, shut up, you Capcom apologists. It's all about Ultra Street Fighter 4. That was the game. That was where everything made sense and worked. And I'm like, I don't even know what to say, dude.
I think it's a good game. So once I have started realizing that is there and is a fun game mechanic, I've really been enjoying it a lot more. And I know that it's not always going to work out for me. In much the same way as in every other game, I need to learn all of the, like I said, all the positioning, all the sort of post-knockdown positioning things that are important. Which characters can get a free dash, which characters can't, which characters can put a crush counter into you, which ones cannot, like which ones are at a range where they can throw you instantly. Like all that stuff is super important, and I think that there's a lot of value in that. Yeah,
I mean, to be honest, the hardest part about that is like when Automatic gets a hold of a new character, he figures all that stuff out in about 2 hours. Right, he knocks everybody down, and he's like, "This is my meaty time."
Yeah,
and he figures out all that stuff like that. And I feel like there needs to be maybe something a little more, on top of that.
I like that. I think it's like very elegant. It's not the most complicated game. Nobody's going to tell you that. Right. I don't think it is either. But I do really like that simplicity. I think that's really cool.
It's actually why Minot's one of my favorite characters, because she doesn't get any meaties off of most of her knockdowns. She doesn't get any of that stuff, so I don't have to play that game.
Yeah,
and I just like the fact that she
you have
actually
to play that game.
Right, but that's why Minot is so interesting to me, because she doesn't have to play that game. She's the only character in the game who's not playing Street Fighter 5. She has really good buttons that can't be whiff punished. She's playing a zoning game that nobody else can play. She doesn't have to worry about knock you down, and she has really cool execution combos. Yeah. Like she is like the most anti Street Fighter 5 character.
Well, I mean, I think she is Street Fighter 5, obviously, right?
Yeah.
She is in that game. So I think another thing that people too often talk about is that the game doesn't have enough variety. I really think there's good character variety in the game at this point.
Yeah, especially
it wasn't like that at launch, and that was a big critique that a lot of us had, including me. But I think at this stage in the game, it's got a lot of different stuff, It's got a lot of different playstyles for you.
By the time by the time Season 2, halfway past Season 2, so right when it got to Manat, Abigail, and Zeku, at that point it just started getting really, because Blanca's a really interesting character. Sakura, we won't talk about Sakura. Falk, we won't talk about Falk.
I think Falk is interesting, although maybe not great, but interesting.
But Cody is really cool.
Yeah, Cody's cool.
Sagat and G are really cool, although Sagat could still use a little buff here and there. So, but I do think that a lot of the later characters have been a lot more interesting.
I was watching this match earlier today between Bonchan and a strong Dalsum online, just an online replay. And throughout it, when Bonchan knocks Dalsum down, which does happen quite a bit, they're playing this really interesting, in my opinion anyway, timing game on when a button will come and whether to block it or whether to not block it, and how to turn a button into offense or just into an escape. And what I really like, too, is that Sagat has an excellent view reversal. Super good knockdown that throws the opponent full screen if he's mid-screen, and if not, he just gets a really good amount of time afterward to put a meaty into you. So he played an interesting game with Dalsum where he stuck a button in at one time, it was blocked, another one was hit, and then the Dalsum tried to press a button at the timing that would have escaped from the previous timing, and Bonchan blocked and V-reversaled and got a knockdown from it. And because of that, he was able to get another knockdown situation to more pressure. But in addition, because of that, he forced the Dalsum to not press a button for fear of being knocked down again into the corner. And that allowed slow Sagat to do a shimmy, to walk back and forth long enough, because now he knows Dalsum. I think that's quite interesting. I really do. So I feel like there's more in the game. Even if it has fewer options, which it does, I still feel that there's a lot of interesting stuff in the game.
Yeah,
I like it.
Like I said, I recognize it. I mean, that whole meaty game and the quick rise and the back roll and stuff like that. I mean, I've always felt like was like the most important thing in the game. I felt like that was Street Fighter V.
We never talk about it. Like on commentary, we never bring it up.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's because the game is so fast.
Right.
Because that's the thing is the moment is very quick, and that's the thing is that the key moments in Street Fighter V come fast and furious, much faster than a lot of the other fighting games.
I'm with you, dude.
That is a cool little speed part. Like I said, the biggest complaint that I have is that it's uncomfortable. You even said before when you got knocked down, you feel panic, and you're like one of the most calm.
I'm scrambly.
Yeah,
I feel scrambly.
And you get kind of this panic situation because that knockdown situation produces that. And like I said, I don't think it's necessarily bad. I don't think it's good. The only reason why I want to change it is because I just think it's a psychological problem. The majority of people just don't like it because it doesn't feel like they're playing the game. Because even something like Tekken, okay, lots of frame data, lots of this, got to know all this information or whatever like that.
More complicated game.
The thing is, when you get knocked down, you can wake up kick, you can wake up spring kick, I can roll forward and divey thing, which is plus, or I can roll to the side, I can roll backwards and everything. At least the character gets to get up. You don't feel like that the character is stuck on the ground thanks to Duke to go. You don't feel like you're stuck on the ground the entire time with Tekken, right? You feel like you get to get up, and even if the enemy beats you up, there still feels like a part where you play the game. Okay. The problem with Street Fighter V is that when you do get knocked down by a better player, you just don't play anymore at that point in time. And again, you're smiling because that's cool because as a better player, it's like that's awesome. Like you feel good that you get to do that. But that produces a psychological problem that a lot of people can't handle, especially since it happens at mid-levels as well. A lot of times those oppressive, make you quit the game thing happen only at the highest levels, but it happens at mid-levels as well in this game. And so people who are playing the game casually get tired and it gets mentally fatigued. Because we've talked about how like Killer Instinct, when you play that game, you get mentally tired, right, after a while. But Street Fighter is like a different kind of thing. If you play that for a lot and you just keep getting hit on your wake-up, the wake-up situation, you just start dreading it. You're just like, I just don't... And this is all you're dealing with the most of the time. And like you don't feel like I get to play this neutral a lot of the times because you just die because you get knocked down and you're dead. And I just feel like that's a problem psychologically for a lot of players. And I think that turns a lot of people off at high levels and at low levels and at medium levels. I'd like to see that change just so it's not as defeating.
I mean, to be fair, most of the times you get knocked down, you're not about to die. That's not uncommon, but not like the default or anything.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Killer Instinct example is a good one, because that's like what I was thinking about when I was playing the other day, that I feel like I don't have time to not pay attention in SF5, which is not how I viewed it before. I viewed it as having significant breaks, and I don't think it really does. I think if you're going to play the game well, then you don't have a time where you take off, because you always have to be paying attention with what their likely ender is going to be and what your options defensively are going to be afterward. So there's no time to just stay away.
That's interesting too, because that might actually be kind of a weakness of Cammy, because her knockdowns are it's always drill.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good situation now.
It's a great situation, yeah. Now, Street Fighter 4 was a different situation. I even said this when I was talking about the things that I would change in 5. I was like, I actually hate the Vortex more than I hate the wake-up game in Street Fighter 5, because I thought the Vortex was just dumb.
In SF4?
Yeah, in SF4, because that was just pure like guessing, and you just got hit, and it was just
there were definitely stronger knockdown situations in SF4.
And I did not enjoy that much at all. So I did not enjoy that at all. So I hated the Vortex. I mean, Vortex is literally why I quit the game, because I blocked a jump attack that crossed me up, and the guy landed in front of me, and he killed me. And I was just like, it was Chris T who did that to me.
Okay.
The last tournament I ever played at Super Arcade was in AE. I mean, it was AE. Not AE. It was in the AE 2012, the one before Ultra. God, 2012 sounds so long ago now.
It was forever ago.
Yeah, but it was the one right before Ultra, right? That was the last tournament I had played in Street Fighter 4 at Super Arcade, because I died to Sakura Unblockable from Alex Myers, and I got sent to losers, and I played Chris T, and he crossed me up, landed in front, hit me.
Was it a corner cross?
Yeah. He crossed me up in the corner, landed in the front, hit me, and I just said, I'm not playing Street Fighter anymore, and that was it. I never played it again.
Did you quit like mid-match?
No. I finished the match, but afterwards it's like, I'm done with this game, because I was like, unblockable? I can't do anything about it. This cross-up is ending in the front. I was like, if I don't I'm not playing Street Fighter, and I quit. Like, I just couldn't handle it anymore. Like, that's how bad I hated Vortex in Street Fighter 4.
Well, some people really, really miss SF4.
Yeah, I know.
And like I said, when SF6 comes out, you know this is true too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many people will say, whatever the thing is about SF6 is not as good as whatever the thing was about SF5.
I always joke that if Super Turbo came out now, everyone would be like, you have to make reversals one frame? What, you can't handle the wake-up game? You have to make it that hard? Blah, blah, blah. And it's what's going to happen. I mean, I saw someone who went back and played Super Turbo and was like, this game is garbage. There's no hit confirms. There's no whiff punish. The footsies are... And I was like...
It's very different.
I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. You have every right to hate it. Because I was like, it's not what you're used to.
No, it's not.
And it's funny, because I was just teaching Born Free how to play Super Turbo. And he was just talking about like whiff punishing, and I was like, this just doesn't happen in this game. I was like, it's legit with Ryu is just to throw fireballs and just keep throwing them. And that's it. That's the whole game. Yeah. Like, that's your whole footsies right there, right? And I was like, this is legit. I was talking about, he was like, so how does the neutral work? And I was like, well, it depends. Because there's projectile, projectile, not projectile, not projectile, not projectile. There's 3 very distinct matches in Super Turbo, and it's very different, and stuff like that. So, God, Super Turbo is such a great game. Anyway.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really like SF5 since I've been thinking about it differently, and I would encourage other people to at least try that out, to view it as maybe a little bit more complex than you have been viewing it. Even if, obviously, it has fewer options than many other games. Still, within that set of options, I find interesting gameplay and complexity.
Yeah,
so.
it's a very...
Give it a go. I mean, it's you don't have to. But.
It's a very mentally taxing game.
Yeah.
It's hard on the soul. That's how I would put it. It's one of the more brutal Street Fighter games out there, in my opinion, because you don't have an ability to escape. I mean, it's funny because I talk about one of the problems being like if Karen does like low strong, stand strong, you can't do anything in between it, and I think for you that's cool.
Yes,
like
correct.
For me, I think that's a problem, but it just depends on how you look at it, and you like the kind of oppressive nature of it because I think Street Fighter V is the most brutal, oppressive Street Fighter game of them all, probably. So.
It's between that and Third Strike, probably?
Well, because Third Strike, everyone always has the illusion they can parry to escape.
Yeah.
They always
Bad
have the right, exactly. But you see, that's my point about having that option that placates the beginners and stuff like that, right? Because they always think that they can lose and go, man, I parry that. I swear I parry that. They can always say that, and that makes it so that they don't get mad and they'll keep playing. Because the one time they do parry, they'll be like, oh, I parried your move, you suck. You know what I mean? Man. And that doesn't exist in 5. That's the thing, right?
Not that many people played Third Strike at like the mid-level, right? Like, it didn't get that much. It wasn't like a super popular game in the general world. It was just a good competitive game. So like you were good at the competitive game, or you just didn't play it basically. So I don't feel like there was like a mid.
Because like
Third Strike player.
Like I played my best friend in the game. Like my best friend is not a great fighting man. He's competent enough. He was always the most competent of like most of my high school friends and stuff like that. And I played him in Third Strike, and there's nothing I could do to get him to stop guest pairing on his wake up. You know, because that's just what he wanted to do. He just wanted to do it, and he would succeed. And because I'm the better player, whenever you succeed on that and beat up the other guy, it's always a victory. And if you lose, then it doesn't matter because I was supposed to win. So I was just like getting so frustrated. So literally every time I knocked him down, I backdashed away. I just didn't even do anything, and I would start to win.
That was actually legit back in the day.
Yeah, people because really like I couldn't.
In tournament.
I was driving me so nuts with this guest pairing thing, and I was like, this is just too annoying to fight against. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just not even going to deal with it. I'm just going to play only neutral. And so like, but that's what I mean. As long as you're a player and you're not great at the game, you always have that feeling in your head. In CVS2, you could always roll. In Street Fighter 4, you could always focus backdash. You could backdash. You could always do something. In every game, you could always do something. Street Fighter 5 is the only one where you can't, unless you have EX meter, and if you're wrong, you die even worse. And so there's none of that safety feeling in that game, which is why that game is so mentally taxing, which is why I feel like they need to add something to make it so that the game feels a little safer, so that more people feel like they're playing. Because, again, like you said, that whole call-out, it's a standard fighting game mix-up between quick roll, back roll, timing and everything. It's all such a standard, but it happens so quickly and it happens so fast.
And it's like the focus.
And when you get hit by it, you're just mad. You know what I mean? Or someone hits you with a wake-up jab, which is absolutely... I mean, some people were like, I hate wake-up jabs. And I was like, don't blame the wake-up jab. Blame the quick rise and the back roll mechanic.
That's the mix-up, though. That is the mix-up.
Right, and I've been saying that since Season 1. I was like, wake-up jabs are not the problem. It's the fact that, one, most moves don't have any active frames, so meaties are hard, but that's intentionally designed. And they have to do that. Otherwise, because if you could meaty both wake-ups, then what's the point, right? And then, at the same time, it's like... You know, that's just the way the game is designed. It's the quick roll, back rise thing. So yeah. So.
SF4 didn't have high active moves either. It's just not really been in Street Fighter.
Exactly. So, yeah. You don't want your opponent to feel safe, but the thing about it is, the best thing about that is, even if, like you said, with Third Strike, the people who guest parry all the time are bad players. Because when you're the top player, you'll murder them anyway, right? I wasn't good enough at Third Strike that I could murder my best friend for trying to guest parry all the time, right? But that's the thing, is that no matter if their opponent feels safer or not, if you're a top player, you're going to murder them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, good players are going to win.
Right, whether or not they feel safer or not. So I don't care if my opponent feels safer. In Super Turbo, if they feel safer when they get up, whatever. There's a guest parry god in the chat. I'm sorry.
Who says that they feel insulted.
Yeah, but that's just the way that I feel like it. So like, even if my opponent feels safe, I'm fine with them feeling safe, because that's a false sense of security, because I'll still beat them. In Super Turbo, if you're just going to block when you get up, I don't care. I'll still find a way to beat you, but at least it makes it for that player, they feel a little better. You know what I mean? And that's again, like I said, I'm approaching it from a very different standpoint right now. So I'm less.
For me personally, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I you know, I guess I understand why other people wouldn't. Man, SF4 had so few moves with long active frames. Some existed, but so few that you can find threads back on the old shoryuken.com forums of people calling it the death of the meaty. I remember that phrase being the death of the meaty, because it was considered very difficult to actually do a meaty. And I recall, I don't remember if this was streamed. This might have been before streams were even common, but maybe it was on IRC or something. Somebody was talking about how one way to escape on wake up was just to hold up. You could just jump. so few people were meeting that player that they just thought you were invincible on Wake Up.
I remember that. I actually remember people
might have
talking
been on
about
SRK,
that.
actually.
I kind of remember people talking about that, actually.
Like
Yes.
there were some moves that were highly active. It's just like not many.
Yeah,
Not
it was
many.
really, really hard to, and that's where a lot of the frame kills came from.
Yes,
so
for
that
sure.
people would learn to time that properly. Of course, you didn't have the input buffer to help you with the frame kills, but that's a whole other
you're right, though.
conversation. So it's a whole other
look,
conversation.
I don't want to say SF5 is some perfect game. I still find flaws with it, and obviously the fact that the lag is like the input lag is variable is absurd. So hopefully they actually fix that
Dude,
stuff.
I mean,
but I don't want to like come across as defending the game in every context. I'm just saying that I've been really enjoying the game more than I have previously.
Right.
I like it a lot now, and I think if people gave it another chance and kind of viewed it differently, then they might too.
I feel like, so let's talk about that, because I see all these people tweeting out like, man, I can't wait till they fix the input lag on the 23rd, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, are they setting themselves up for like massive disappointment? Because I know that's what Capcom said. We're addressing this, but like, are they really addressing it, or are they just going to fix the variable input lag and so it's still at 6.5? Or like everyone's like, oh, I'm going to be able to whiff punish things now, and da da da. I've seen some people like, oh, now I'm coming back in because now you'll see. And I'm like, it's not going to change.
It's not going to change that much.
Yeah, your results aren't going to change much. I'm sorry, but like the game.
If other people who are already reacting are still playing the game, then they're going to just be better at reacting than you are anyway.
Yeah,
They're just going to have
exactly.
more whiff punishes anyway.
Punk is going to be so good.
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
he is.
dude. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, like if they do reduce it to like, let's say 5 frames, that'd be great. I'm just not holding my breath for it right now. I don't want to set myself up for disappointment.
I just don't expect it.
And the last time
really.
I said that, I was like, there's no way they're revealing Sagat at EVO. And they
Okay.
did, and they
Okay.
released him the next day.
You're setting yourself
so
up for disappointment.
I'm setting
right now.
myself for disappointment by trying not to set myself up for disappointment. I'm trying so hard just to be like, okay, you know what? No, I'm just expect it to be fixed at 6.5, so there's no variable lag and stuff like that. So.
But yeah, I do expect at least that the variable lag gets fixed. At a minimum. I feel like that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
If they don't, it's a big bummer. Anyway, give it another look. It's cool.
Since most people miss SF4 so much, why do you think SF4 isn't a little bigger? Is it because of money, or is it because of the vocal minority complaining?
Last on for sure.
I mean,
100,000%.
Dude, I apologize again in advance. But this is how I feel about people talking about Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Everybody is like, oh, bring this game back because it was so great.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, please bring it back, because then everyone will remember how much this game is trash. People remember how bad Street Fighter Cross Tekken was if we bring it back, because that game was garbage, dude. That game was garbage. So, anyways,
I think most people would not like CVS2 if that game were played.
oh yeah,
Big time nowadays.
dude. I had someone who was like, "Oh, I love CVS2. It's such a great game." And then I was like, "Did you ever play the game?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Not really. I watched it." I was okay. Well, there, that's it, right there.
You're gonna be sad.
Oh, jeez. Gosh.
I like CVS2 like well enough. It was never the game that I played the most, because maybe a big part of that is because for a while I was playing in Maryland, DC, Virginia area where nobody did anything, and it was boring, and it was Justin Wong versus Steve Harrison 45 minutes grand finals. I was there for that. It
It was
crazy.
literally the one match where they just held down back for the entire 99-second timer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I thought it was a fun game, fun enough. Maybe it's not my favorite. But I really think a lot of people would hate the game if it were big nowadays.
I saw Master PPV write something here, and I just want to address it here. Here's the big thing about numbers-heavy games, and this happens with card games as well. The most consistent strategy is usually the least interactive and least fun to play against, because the most consistent way to win is if you can make it so your opponent basically can't play. I feel like that was one of SF5's big issues before. Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. Yeah. Most fighting games, I mean, that's kind of
I feel like that's what you wanted. That's best case scenario in every fighting game.
Yeah, it's Guilty Gear scenario, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why Guilty Gear is actually, I feel like, less even matchup heavy than some other fighting games is if you can start. Okay, MvC3 is a great example, right?
Okay.
You're 0. Round 1, fight. Doesn't matter who the other characters is. If you mix them up at the beginning, they died.
Right,
and then you did the incoming mix-up, didn't matter who they were, they died. And the next yeah. So you didn't really have to know matchups. You could get far just by having a ridiculous 0 with mix-ups like crazy, right? So that's a thing. That's a thing, and that's not letting the opponent play. So that is absolutely a valid strategy in fighting games. And in fact, yes, you're right. That is always going to be the best strategy, is not letting the opponent play at all.
Well, I feel like that's probably less in SF5 than it is in some games. Like in SF4, we talked about the fact that there were actually one-player unblockables, hard blockables. That kind of thing doesn't really exist in SF5. I mean,
we know of.
Well, people have tried, right? I mean, I've tried, certainly.
Oh, have you actually tried?
Sure, I've tried, yeah. I'm sure other people have, too.
Okay.
Not to say it doesn't exist, but I haven't found it or seen it. But in SF5, it's rarely the case that like you are knocked down into something that you can't see that just kills you, right?
Yeah.
It's rarely the case. More often, you have to make the bad decision.
Yeah, what a lot of people don't realize in Street Fighter V when it feels like you're not playing is that you still are actively making the decision to quick rise or back roll and timings and stuff.
Or tech, or press the wrong button, or whatever it is.
And that's why a lot of people die, but people don't feel like that they're doing anything, even though, and I've even fall into this. When I play Street Fighter V, I find myself doing the same wake up every single time, because I'm just so used to holding back and mashing buttons and doing quick rise, and it's a problem. And it's just not something that I bet you a lot of people out there who are, beginners or middle at the game, if they actually went back and rewatched their matches and saw that and watched their wake-ups, they probably are not mixing between the two at all. I think most people accidentally stick to one of them.
I think you're right.
More than any,
Look, there are some pretty BS situations. For example, Leon Fronrana says, doesn't Abigail have an unblockable? Yeah, and he has situations where some characters have difficulty getting out of them based on the meaty timings.
Stupendous is actually Stupendous is in the chat. Shout outs to Stupendous. What's up? He says hard to blockables do exist in Street Fighter V.
Oh, I haven't seen or played against them.
Well, that's the thing is there's no situation that you can get hit.
You need a knockdown.
Right, you need a crush counter sweep. It's the only way to do it.
That probably is it. Yeah.
And that's that's why I said we don't know, because there's just no opportunity for it, right? So. Because I even in my stream when I was like, make it so that if you don't quick rise, you can't get thrown. But I was like, but that may lead to unblockables. We don't know if they exist or not.
Yeah.
So, dude, make Geef great again, please. It
wouldn't take that much, but I don't expect it.
Him and Ryu, basically, those two characters need to be better again.
I've just been playing G.
Dude, well, no wonder you've been having so much fun with the game, dude. Because G is power, dude.
He's a good character.
That character feels like he can toy with people.
Yeah, he's definitely good. He doesn't have good defense though, so I'm playing the defensive mix-ups everybody else has to play.
Dectalon, I will probably do that on Wednesday this week. Actually, the next subscriber analysis session. I did that last week. It was a lot of fun. I got 2 players who are subs to my stream, and they played a 2 out of 3 match against each other.
Nice.
And then I went to the replay and we just went through the whole match. It took me like 2 hours to go through that whole match. I'm trying to do faster, but it was really cool because I got to like analyze and say a lot of things and accuse Homuffin of not actually hit confirming when he did. But I walked it back.
Dang.
I walked it back. So because he did crouching medium kick into the DDT with Alex.
Yeah. And
I was like, there's no way he hit confirmed that. But then I realized Bison was in the middle of swinging when he hit him. Okay. So it was hit confirmable. So I'm sorry, Homuffin. I'm sorry.
For sure.
He was the Alex player. So, but it was a really exciting. It was fun. I really enjoyed it too. And so I'm definitely going to do another one again this Wednesday. So
I do remember the unblockable that Mika technically has. Muckmaster reminds us. Has an unblockable since Nadeshko will hit you if you avoid the grab.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe they call that the Callisto.
Do they really?
Well, I'm sure he'd love it if they did.
Damn, you're gonna do it like that? You're gonna do it like that, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, my stream is twitch.tv/jchensor. If you go there on Wednesday, and like I said, I only got to do 1 match last time. I'll try to do 2 matches this time, but we'll see how long it takes. Because when I start analyzing stuff, it's so fun to analyze. And I will not lie. The replay feature in the Street Fighter V is really nice. I love it because you could turn on the frame data and go frame 1 by 1 and stuff like that. So after you block it, you can see it's +4, and I'm going 1 frame, and then you rewind back like 5 seconds, and you keep doing it. It's really actually kind of nice.
I've never actually tried it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. So I was able to do a lot of good stuff on there. So
the Callisto special. Anyway, BB Tag is my favorite game right now. Yeah, I like SFV.
My favorite game right now is actually Tekken 7. So.
Sick. I would say mine are BB Tag, Inge, SF5. Except for this guy. We'll see what happens with this guy when I get home tonight.
I mean, for me right now is Tekken 7. I guess since the last one that I played a lot was BB Tag. BB Tag would probably be next. Maybe a combination of Eunice, Guilty Gear, maybe Sliced Ice and Rice or something like that. I actually saw Dacid Bro talking about that game. He was like, this game's legit. And I was like, it's fun. So, I actually think a lot of people should play that game for beginning fighting games, just because cool. I think it's really because it's one hit kill and there's no blocking. Yeah. It really emphasizes the positioning a lot more. You can't fall back on blocking to save yourself in that game. So I really like that. So
Caramel Jenkins, do you have your game yet? It sounds like you do.
What's that?
Sounds like Caramel Jenkins
he does it?
Has it.
Oh, nice.
If you live in a major metropolitan area, there may be a chance that
yeah, of course.
Or even just if you just have a local mom and pop, there may be a chance you get it. But,
yeah, actually, Dive Kick was very similar to that, with the concept of no blocking, one hit kill, right? So positioning was very valuable. But the problem is the movement in that game is different than fighting games. What's nice about Sliced Ice and Rice, it's about dashing, it's about walking, it's about instant air dashing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got air dashes and stuff like that. So it feels like you're kind of playing that fighting game, kind of feel to it while you're playing that. And, even if the sword hits you at the tip of the blade, it won't kill you. It'll just injure you and stuff like that. So it's a lot of interesting things about the game in any case. But in any case, people are going to call me a shill for talking about the game. I'm sure. Cool. But the game is cool. Anyways, I should stream some Sliced Ice and Rice is what I should do. That would be fun. Invite you guys over and we'll just play some. But I will be gone this weekend. I will be at the Classic Tetris World Championships in Portland at the Portland Retro Gaming Experience this weekend. It's going to be really excited. Jonas Neubauer is going to try to get, I forgot, was it 5 in a row, 6 in a row, 7 in a row now? Like, that guy is basically unbeatable, but Corian, who was one of the greatest Tetris the Grandmaster players, has picked up NES Tetris, and he beat Jonas Neubauer in a exhibition in Hong Kong recently. And then there's that 18-year-old kid, that Wunderkind, who's amazing at NES Tetris now. So I think because it's getting a lot of publicity, a lot of people are starting to get into there. There's also going to be a guest commentator there, a fellow by the name of Arda Orca, who used to do like WWE commentary and stuff like that. Apparently, he's a big fan of Tetris as well, and he wants to come and do all this stuff. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun this year. So, and they're gonna have Tetris Effect for sure. So they're gonna have Tetris Effect, and I'm gonna just crack out on that game and see how that plays. So, yeah. Arda Orca, I guess his name. I think he did stuff in like Canada or somewhere. I can't remember, but I mean, you find him on Twitter. He's got like crap ton of followers and stuff like that. So, but yeah, the NES consoles. Yeah, we gotta find that. So, find that.
Any news today? Or?
Oh, yeah, that's right. We only have 10 minutes for that, huh? Okay, well, hey, there's not really much here to talk about. We talked about most of this stuff. Some community stuff. Well, for an event, in Tennessee, there's an event called Chat Town Beatdown in November 2018.
Okay.
It's going to be in Chattanooga, in Tennessee. Fighting games will take over the Card Monster game store. There's going to be Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Soul Calibur 6, and Dragon Ball FighterZ as the main events. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Under Night in Birth latest as side events. Like to try to promote these small events. Hopefully it's well run and all that stuff like that. We'll see, but it's a chance for you to meet people in Tennessee, gain communities, and even if the event isn't great, then you can meet the other people and then start building communities from there. If it is great, that's perfect. Hopefully they keep running more events and keep going with that. So there you go. Check that out.
Yep. Good old Chattanooga.
Also, a couple of community things. Really kind of neat. Undammed, who has made the Undammed board for where you can plug in your joysticks into the CPS2 boards and all that stuff like that. So that you can, what are you doing? So that you can play, all the CPS2 stuff very easily on all the TE sticks that we have and everything like that. He's actually trying to make a solution to the CPS2 suicide problem.
Oh, wow.
And he has a way that he feels like he can actually make it so that there's something called the InfiniKey CPS2 that he's going to try to create that will solve it so that the boards won't suicide anymore.
That's pretty cool.
That is really, really, really cool. Also, you know, Vani, I get that feeling too sometimes. Also, what's really cool is that recently, I know I retweeted this, a few other people like Tanya and Eugene have retweeted this, but someone made a little mini documentary on the Super Turbo scene. It takes a lot of the footage that was filmed there comes from the combo breakers, so there's even footage of, you know, the Eugene and Tanya's proposals, the counter proposals and stuff like that. But it is created by a fellow named Phil Nolan. So check that out. That is a documentary out there about Super Turbo.
Cool.
Out there. So there you go. That's all the news that I have. And Capcom Connect is coming up in 7 minutes.
Correct.
I have been playing a lot of Mega Man 11.
Okay.
I really enjoy that game.
Okay, cool.
So here's for me, Mega Man is all about the special weapons. The weapons that you can get from the bosses, right? You're not paying attention to me.
I'm just kidding, dude.
No, I know. But you can always get, you know, special weapons. In this game, they did a really good job that all the special weapons don't really shoot forward like your normal Mega Buster. So it feels like there's a good variety. The weapons do a lot of cool things. But the nice thing about it is after you beat the game, there's an item that you can buy that makes it so that weapon energy never gets spent. You can just use weapons willy-nilly, right? And it's super broken. It's obviously super broken. I mean, there's one weapon that's literally a smart bomb that kills everything on the screen, so you can just spam that forever, right? But the whole point of putting it in there is so you can have fun. And what me and my brother used to do in every Mega Man game when we were young, for Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, and even 4, was after we beat the game, we would go to every stage and only use that one weapon to see how it felt on the stage in the certain sections and stuff like that. But the problem is you would always run out of weapon energy, and so you couldn't do it anymore. But now, I just bought that item, and now I'm just running through every stage, and I'm finding these really cool things you can do with the weapons that, you know, because you could just go willy-nilly. So now if I ever went back and played it and I had the weapons, I know how to use the weapons intelligently on those parts of the stages and stuff. They did an amazingly good job on 11. Like, I am actually frighteningly blown away. I mean, it's not even just the way the game looks, it's the way that it plays. Like, I felt like they just did so much right with that game. So.
I tried the demo and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I really enjoy the game. I really, really enjoy the game. So, cool stuff. Yes, that is the biggest weakness of the game, Clanter. That is the biggest weakness of the game, is the music is not great. Mega Man has always had very, very distinct music, and this one, the music actually feels more perfunctory, background-y.
Oh, that sucks.
And I'm not happy with that. So, yep. That'd be cool. Maybe I will speedrun the game. No, I don't know if I have time for that, dude. I don't have time to speedrun, learn how to speedrun a game.
I've just been playing BB Tag and SF5 lately. That's it. DHCs, yeah, I was thinking about it this morning because I was, like I said, I was like analyzing this Bonchan match.
Are you talking about us?
I should probably do that.
Are you talking about us?
Yeah, probably.
Yay, thank you. Anyways, what are you saying? I wasn't paying attention that time, so.
Can you believe this guy?
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
That I should do another DHC. I unsubbed from WoW. I only subbed to it for 1 month upon release of BFA. That was my deal to myself. And I decided not to resub for another month. But if, like, when there's another big patch, then I'll come back.
Wait, what were you talking about? I'm just kidding.
Dang it.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I don't feel like I need to keep playing it. I basically played the story mode, to be honest. And then I tried, like, each one of the raids and dungeons. And then I did, like, the war fronts or whatever it's called. And I did islands. And I was like, yeah, all right.
Good call, Sagati in the chat. Thank you for reminding me about that. The name of the Super Turbo document is just called The Return of Super Turbo. So you can look for that on YouTube. Just do search for The Return of Super Turbo. Hopefully that will show up. Let me see what his channel name is called here. I'll tell you what Phil Nolan. His channel name is Phil Nolan. So there you go. Just look up Phil Nolan. If you see Return of Super Turbo by a user Phil Nolan, that is him.
Very nice.
So there you go.
Our thoughts on Marvel 4 rumors are that it is not true.
Yeah, it's not happening, dude. It's just
Sorry, everybody.
Stop hurting yourself that way.
Well, Capcom Connect is going to start in just a couple of minutes. They had a tweet earlier about what they're going to be doing today.
What are they doing?
They had a tweet about what they're going to be doing
All
today.
right. Okay, so check out that tweet, and so you'll know what's going to do on and who the guests are going to be on the stream.
Correct.
All right, so definitely check that out, and I will go ahead and raid everybody over there after this is done. So thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Tuesday show.
Again, ECT is this weekend. Pay attention to that. That'll be fun. There's a lot of good games to be
I
played
was
there.
about to say, did I forget my phone? I was going to be super sad, but no, I had my phone here, so...
We may... Steve said that he might be able to do next week, but I guess we'll just be doing the Super Turbo folks.
What, Steve? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. Maybe we could do both.
Yeah, maybe we could do both.
We could do both. Why not?
We'll see. All right.
Can you see that really quick?
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
Damn it. Damn. You knew it. You knew what my plan was. Ugh.